Chapter 36-43. Yao Yao, the superstar is calling for you. Come here. Seeing that Han Yueyao didn't move, the department head urged her. Han Yueyao put down the documents in her hand and walked over. You're Han Yueyao. Jiang Yi sized up the girl in front of him. She was indeed talented. He believed that the person recommended by Huo Min wouldn't be bad. I am. Oh, you want to act? Jiang Ye's question was very direct. This made the onlookers look at Han Yueyao strangely. Yes. Han Yueyao decided to tell the truth. If she pretended, it would make her seem more fake. Big brother Jiang, she's just a newbie. She's temporarily doing odd jobs in our department. Don't take her words too seriously. The department head was afraid that Han Yueyao would say something wrong, so he quickly tried to smooth things over. Jiang Yi didn't pay any attention to the department head. He looked at Han Yueyao and asked, "How was the crying scene?" "It's okay. Perform it. The 1-minute countdown starts now." Then, Jiang Yi looked down at his watch. Everyone snickered, waiting to see this woman make a fool of herself. Shedding tears in 1 minute was a piece of cake for a professional actress. But for a non-professional actress who had never received formal training and had never acted in a movie before, it was already very difficult. Those who didn't know the situation thought that Jiang Yi was ordered by someone to deliberately cause trouble for Han Yueyao. So, they were all waiting to see a good show. However, less than 10 seconds had passed since Jiang Yi had finished speaking. Han Yueyao's face was already covered in tears, the surrounding onlookers sighed. Not bad. Jiang Yi looked at the girl and nodded in agreement. So, superstar, I've performed all that I needed to perform. The test is over. What's your goal? Han Yueyao thought that a big shot like the best actor wouldn't tease her on purpose. From the moment he knew her name, he was definitely here for her. At first, she thought that Gao Yarou had used her connections to embarrass her. But when she looked into Jiang Ye's eyes, she didn't find a trace of hostility in his eyes. I recently changed my career to become a producer. I'm in charge of a Qing dynasty drama. The female lead has already been booked. It's a rising star, Tian Rongrong. Now, we need a second female lead. It's a part of the harem. Are you interested in the villain role? After Jiang Yi asked this question, the crowd sighed. Big brother Jiang, the department head, was also dumbfounded. She was an inexperienced newbie. It was good enough that she could play the role of a maid. She was even invited by Jiang Yi to play the second female lead. Such a good thing. If it was an ordinary girl, she would definitely be so excited that she would jump up. But when he looked at Han Yueyao, she looked calm. She tilted her head and pondered for a moment before asking, "Who is the male lead?" "Me," Jiang Yi said. "But how?" Yes, Han Yueyao wanted to be an actress so she could earn more money. That was why she asked so directly in front of Jiang Yi. Han Yueyao, are you stupid? Big brother Jiang is willing to give you a chance. Even if it costs you money, you should do it, an experienced agent reminded her in a low voice. That's not realistic. I don't have the money. Plus, as an actress, it's normal to get paid. What's wrong with asking about my salary? No problem. How about this? I'll ask my agent to talk to you about your salary. Jiang Yi wasn't angry at all. Okay. Han Yueyao nodded, satisfied with the result. Jiang Yi smiled and turned to leave. Han Yueyao chased after him again and asked in a low voice, "Who asked Mr. Jiang to take care of me?" Chapter 36-44. Jiang Yi smiled mysteriously. A benefactor. Looking at Jiang Ye's back, Han Yueyao frowned slightly. At first, she thought Suyu had hired someone to do it for her. But Suyu was her boss. If he wanted to help her, he wouldn't have gone through so much trouble. So, there was only one person left. Suyu didn't plan to see Huamin during the day. But after getting this hot potato, he had no choice but to go. Suyu's black Lamborghini stopped at the entrance of South Side. A group of nurses began to have feelings for him. Young Master Su. Young Master Su, are you here to see your mother? She didn't come to work today. No. Suyu waved his hand awkwardly. Fortunately, he ran into Chen Jia at the elevator on the first floor. Is Mian in the office? Yeah, she is. Chen Jia looked down at the gift in Suyu's hand as she spoke. I didn't give it to her. Someone asked me to give it to her, Suyu explained awkwardly. Oh, then go upstairs and see her. Huamin was looking at an ultrasound image of a pregnant woman with an abnormal fetal position on his computer. Suyu knocked on the door and walked in. I don't accept gifts today. Huamin was afraid that Suyu would give him something valuable, so he immediately shut his mouth. I didn't buy it. Someone asked me to give it to you. Didn't you see the picture before? This is it. Then, Suyu placed the gift bag on Huamin's desk with a thud. It was obvious that he was extremely dissatisfied with that woman. What picture? Huamin was also confused. Who gave it to you? Huamin asked again. Suyu immediately realized that he was fooled by that little girl again. Damn it. I'll teach her a lesson tonight. Suyu made up his mind. What's going on? Who sent it? Han Yueyao, Suyu said grumpily. Why do you look so angry? You gave her the money. That's not it, but she probably bought these with the money she extorted from me. Suyu was exasperated at the thought of her talking about money again and again. It sounds like a lot has happened between the two of you recently. Don't mention it. You don't even know the true face of your distant cousin, do you? What true face? Huamin picked up the newborn gift bag and looked at it carefully. He felt that it was quite cute. It was blue for little boys, which meant that this girl was thoughtful. She's simply a money grubber. All she thinks about is money. I've never seen such a realistic girl. Haven't you seen it now? Hey, I say, you're teasing me. I don't dare. Big brother you're a man of few words. If I tease you, you'll kill me. Don't talk nonsense. Who wants to kill you? Suyu said it in a low voice, and Huamin didn't hear it clearly. Okay, I won't keep you any longer. I'm leaving. See you tonight. Suyu didn't want to linger. He was so angry at Han Yueyao that his good mood was gone. After Suyu left, Huamin received a WeChat message from Han Yueyao. Sister Mian, the gift is for the baby, not you, so you have no right to refuse it. Did that big idiot Suyu deliver it safely? Huamin chuckled and replied, yeah, it's here. Thank you for the gift, Yao. I thank you on behalf of the baby. A young lady, your package. The bodyguard scanned the package and found it wasn't dangerous, flammable, or explosive. Then he handed it to Huamin. It was an exquisitely wrapped box with white lace tied into a bow. It was beautiful and dreamy. Huamin looked at the package. There was no name on it, only the address and name of Huamin's hospital were written on it. However, such a mysterious atmosphere made her feel a little uncomfortable. That feeling was indescribable. It was as if her chest was being blocked by someone. Chapter 36:45. Huamin carefully opened the package. Inside was a dress. To be more precise, it was a wedding gown. It was white. It lay quietly in the box. However, Huamin's uneasiness grew stronger and stronger. Her instincts told her not to look at it anymore. She should throw it away and pretend she never received this gift. However, her curiosity told her that she had to see what it was that made it so mysterious. Huamin licked her dry lips and suddenly picked up the white veil with one hand. Then, her heart skipped a beat. It was really that dress. It was the one Hua Xiqin had given her to wear during the strange wedding at the cliff. Because it was designed by Hua Xiqin when he was young, this wedding gown meant a lot to him. But on such a day, she actually received this dress. Then, could it be? Hua Xiqin was back. At this thought, Huamin's heart skipped a beat. She wasn't afraid of Hua Xiqin. She was afraid that Hua Xiqin was no longer the same person. She was afraid that he had been controlled by the jack in his heart. Looking carefully, there was indeed red blood in the center of the wedding gown, where the heart was. Although it wasn't very obvious, as a doctor, she still noticed it. It was as if a drop of blood had dripped on it on purpose. Huamin threw the wedding gown on the ground. Then, all the memories of being imprisoned on the deserted island by Hua Xiqin instantly came back to her. In such a person's office, even though it was daytime, she actually felt cold. Little Jia, Huamin was on the verge of breaking down as she desperately called out to Qin Jia. Sister Mian, what's wrong? Qin Jia heard the sound and quickly pushed the door open. She didn't even have time to call the deputy director. Instead, she called out to Sister Mian. Jia, quick, throw this away. Throw it away as far as possible. No, burn it. Hurry up and burn it. Sister Mian, whose dress is this? It's not good to burn it, right? Although the medical staff were not superstitious, they knew that if someone died in the hospital, they would definitely die. The family would then burn all the belongings of the deceased. Therefore, Qin Jia thought it would be weird to burn the clothes. Then throw it away. Throw it far away, Huamin emphasized again. Sister Mian, are you okay? What happened to your clothes? Qin Jia had no idea what was going on. A mental patient sent it. It's okay, Huamin clutched his chest, still a little nervous. All right, then I'll take it away. Don't be afraid. If you need anything, just call me. I'll be right outside. All right. Huamin calmed down a little after Qin Jia left with the blood-stained wedding dress. Then, as soon as he sat down in his office chair, the landline phone rang. For some reason, Huamin felt that the phone call was too coincidental. It rang for a long time before she picked it up. Hello. I'm Huamin, the deputy director of Southside Recuperation Center. Huamin tried to calm himself down. Happy birthday, Toy Toy. Happy birthday, Toy Toy. A man's voice was singing on the phone, but his voice was a little strange, as if something was stuck in his throat. May I ask who this is? Many people knew about Huamin's birthday. Even many of his fans on Weibo remembered it, so this wasn't strange. Sister Mian, did you receive the present I sent you? After singing the happy birthday song, the man suddenly asked with a smile. Huamin froze on the spot, before he could answer. The man on the other end laughed weirdly and continued, Sister Mian, happy birthday. I miss you so much. Chapter 36-46. Hua Xiqin, don't play tricks on me. Come out and meet me if you dare. I'm not afraid of you. Huamin yelled into the phone. But the other side hung up after 2 beeps. Maybe he was afraid of being tracked. Huamin checked the records and found that it was a private number. He couldn't find it. But this birthday present and this strange phone call, Huamin knew that it was Hua Xiqin. He wasn't dead, but he was rescued by a mysterious person that day. He disappeared without a trace. But Huamin knew that as long as he was alive, he would keep pestering her. All the grudges between her and Hua Xiqian would never be resolved as long as Hua Xiqian was alive. After letting her imagination run wild, Huamin sat down with no more thoughts in her mind. To be honest, she was a little worried about this birthday. Ever since she found out that there was someone behind the human traffickers who wanted to catch her, Huamin didn't dare to be careless anymore. She had to be careful of herself and the children's safety. She even had to take care of Jixin and her mother. She was afraid that those people would suddenly attack. Before Yan left, she had reminded her repeatedly. Now that her birthday was so big, she couldn't refuse Tang Chuan and Qin Ning's kindness. But she knew that the more ostentatious and high-profile she was, the more she would be targeted by those in the dark. She didn't even know who they were, but they all wanted to capture her, or rather, kill her. After throwing her things, Chen Jia came back and saw Xingro in a hospital gown. "Jia, where did you go?" "Oh, I went to help the vice director with something." "What is it?" "Oh, just some discarded work clothes." Chen Jia didn't say much. "Oh. Okay, go do it. I'll see you on the boat after work." Xingro made it seem like she was close to Huamin, so Chen Jia didn't suspect anything. After Chen Jia left, Xingro avoided the hospital's cameras and walked toward the place where Chen Jia had thrown her clothes. Then, she put the white wedding dress into a plastic bag. A remote corner of the hospital, "Chief, check the background of this wedding gown. I feel that Huamin is not in a good mood." After taking the photos, Xingro quietly tossed the white wedding dress back to its original spot. He was afraid that Huamin's subordinates would become suspicious if they turned back and couldn't find him. Xingro sent the photo to the chief, and he replied in less than 3 minutes. It was worn by Hua Xiqian when he held Huamin hostage at the superstar wedding on the cliff. But why is there blood on it? Xingro wondered. Maybe it's a warning or a threat. So this indirectly proves that Hua Xiqian has appeared. "No, maybe someone is playing a prank," the bureau chief replied. "It doesn't seem like it." Huamin was not in a good mood the whole afternoon, and his assistant was also nervous. I think he must have realized something. If Hua Xiqian is really back, it's good news. I want to know who saved him. After all, those people don't even care about Lu Yan. Maybe we can use them in the future. The bureau chief seemed to be very ambitious. He even wanted to get in touch with the force behind Hua Xiqian. What should I do tonight? Follow the original plan, but you must be careful. Tonight, the cruise ship will be very lively, the bureau chief typed word for word. Xingro was a little excited, feeling that something was going to happen tonight. Chapter 36-47. After reporting to the chief, Xingro strolled around the hospital at a leisurely pace. Then, she bumped into Huamin. "Mian, you look good today." "Yeah. I've been doing well in the rehabilitation exercise. My legs don't hurt anymore and I feel better." "Huh? You look pale. What's wrong? Are you not feeling well?" "No. Maybe I'm tired." Huamin forced a smile. "Su Yu came this afternoon. You're well informed." Huamin looked at Xingro with a gentle smile. "Oh. I heard it from the nurses. I didn't see him." "Yeah. He came. Lord Su is always generous." "What gift did he give you this year?" "Nothing. I won't accept gifts this year. Let's just have dinner together." Xingro wasn't in the WeChat group, so she didn't see Huamin say he wouldn't accept gifts this morning. "I see. Then I'm embarrassed. I prepared this for you." Xingro took out an exquisite package from behind her. From the logo, She knew it was a popular Gucci bag. It was small and beautiful, but it cost tens of thousands of yuan. It's too expensive. I can't accept it, Xing. Hua Min's face turned serious immediately. Yes, she had never thought she had anything to do with Xing. If she tried to connect the dots, she could only say that Xing had saved her by accident. But after Mr. Qin's analysis, she felt Xing appearance was indeed a coincidence. What are you talking about? We're friends. This gift is nothing. I can't accept it. You can use it. I appreciate your kindness. Mian, are you still mad at me that day? No. I understand that you were agitated that day. If it were me, I'd be fiercer than you. Then you're not going to invite me to the cruise tonight, right? Xing question was very cunning. In fact, it was Qin Chu who sent out the invitations. The list was made by Qin Chu, and Xing was not invited. Because this was a small, private gathering, Qin Chu might be wary of Xing. Hua Min knew Su Yu would bring Han Yueyao here, so he told her about it. As for Xing, to be honest, if Xing hadn't mentioned it, she wouldn't have let her go tonight. Perhaps he was just being polite, but look at the current situation. Xing attitude was normal, but her scheming behavior made Hua Min uncomfortable. However, with so many people watching, Hua Min would still give her face. Of course, you can go and have fun. Everyone is just having fun. What birthday? Just treat it as a gathering of friends. Su Yu will take that girl there tonight, right? Xing asked with a smile. I think so. Don't worry, Mian. I won't make a scene. Even if I'm not happy, I won't do anything embarrassing. I believe you. Hua Min smiled. Then he led the doctors and nurses to the conference room. Xing smiled meaningfully. She wondered who would be the first mysterious visitor tonight. Would it be Hua Min's younger sister, Lu Yan? Or would Ian show up? After work, Han Yueyao sent a WeChat message to Su Yu at the entrance of the company. President Su, I'm off work. Where's your car? Take a taxi and come here. Damn it. Didn't you say we'd go together? I had to leave because I had something to do. I can't go back to the company now. There's too much traffic, Su Yu said deliberately. I can take a taxi. Will you reimburse me? Han Yueyao asked matter-of-factly. Chapter 36-48. I won't reimburse you. You can choose not to come, Su Yu said nonchalantly. Whoa. Are you threatening me? Do you think I have to go? If I don't go, you'll lose a lot. Don't forget that you bought me more than 200,000 yuan worth of stuff. Money isn't important. But I told Mian this afternoon that you'd come. If you don't go, I won't be disappointed. You, despicable. Ah. How can I have such a despicable boss like you? She didn't expect that he would use the same trick she had used on him to subdue him. Ha! I'm giving you a taste of your own medicine. Medicine my ass. Damn it. You and say. Seeing that the girl was angry, Su Yu was about to ask her a question when she hung up. Although Han Yueyao was angry, she still had to go. After all, Sister Mian was the nicest person to her in this city. She believed that Hua Min was nice to her not only because of Lady Su's request. Taking a deep breath, Han Yueyao walked across the street to hail a taxi. Su Xiaoxiao, on the other hand, ran to Lin Hang's repair shop after class. Why did you come alone? Lin Hang seemed to be used to her running around like this, in a hurry. Who else should I come with? Su Xiaoxiao was surprised. Realizing that his question was too obvious, Lin Hang immediately corrected himself. Didn't you make a new friend recently? Ha. You must be talking about Yao. She has something to do today and can't come with me. Are you done? Let's go eat Xinjiang big plate chicken. As for Su Xiaoxiao, from her words and actions, she didn't look like a lady from a respectable family. If she were to say that she was from the Su family, not many people would believe her. Maybe her parents didn't teach her well, she was just so carefree. Lin Heng didn't answer. Instead, he continued to ask, "Where did your friend go? She doesn't know anyone in this city, right?" "That's right. She doesn't have many acquaintances, but when she first came, a distant relative introduced her. So when the relative's birthday was celebrated, she went over to support." "Then why didn't you go with him?" "Didn't I come to see you?" Su Xiaoxiao looked confused. She always felt that Lin Heng was a little strange today. When she took a taxi to the dock, she saw Su Yu leaning against the black Lamborghini sports car from afar. He seemed to be greeting someone and chatting happily. A group of tycoons surrounded him, and everyone's attention was on him. She wasn't in a hurry to change into the dress Su Yu had bought for her. Instead, she wore her sports pants and a white cartoon long-sleeved shirt. Then, she squeezed into the crowd. When Su Yu saw her, he wanted to laugh at her. Han Yueyao looked up and asked with a smile in front of everyone. "Su Yu, Gij, did I leave my underwear at your house last night?" Su Yu was dumbfounded. "I didn't expect you to like black lace." "Then remember to wash it for me. Wash it clean so that I can wear it next time." Su Yu's face darkened immediately, the other tycoons were dumbfounded. Some fearless people even stuttered and interrupted, "President Su, your taste is so heavy now," and laughed so hard that he almost couldn't breathe. This was the first time he saw his boss so embarrassed and didn't know what to say. Other than Dr. Hua, she seemed to be the second woman who dared to tease him like this. "Han Yueyao, are you tired of living?" Su Yu gritted his teeth and asked. Chapter 36-49. Hearing his words, Han Yueyao immediately pretended to be scared. Then, she put her hands together and complained to the surrounding rich people, "Hey, guys, I'm sorry. This is supposed to be a private matter. I didn't expect that I would accidentally spill the beans. Even if you know, pretend that you don't know. Ha, our big brother Siu doesn't like people gossiping about him." "Shut the hell up." Lin Fan's eyes widened. Seeing Han Yueao's teasing, Siu couldn't stand it anymore. He grabbed her shoulder and dragged her to a place with fewer people. "You're lying. Do you believe that I'll beat you up?" Su Yu pretended to raise his fist. "Go ahead. If you punch me, the money I'll extort from you will be enough for me to retire for the rest of my life. Then I won't have to work for Imperial Star anymore." "Ha! You!" Su Yu didn't know whether to laugh or cry at her shameless behavior. Different from Xing Rou created the conflict to get close to Su Yu. She did it on purpose, so Su Yu didn't like it. No matter how hard he tried, he could only be friends with Xing Rou. But Han Yueyao was different. She didn't have the burden of being an idol like a girl and could talk to Su Yu about anything she wanted. She even tricked her boss from time to time. Su Yu felt Han Yueyao was more real to him since she didn't try to hide anything. Although she only talked about money, she had to show her flaws to prove that she was real. No one was perfect in the world. If someone around you was too perfect, they were either pretending to be perfect in front of others. Either she was concealing some unknown defect, which was accurate. Su Yu had worked hard in the industry for years and could see through this. So, compared to Xing Rou, he would rather deal with Han Yueyao. "You're so far-sighted. You want to extort money from me. Then I'll kill you and pay for your funeral, okay?" Su Yu said in a huff. Okay, but I have a last wish, Han Yueyao said solemnly. Tell me, what's your last wish? Suyu went along with her, waiting to see what other stupid ideas this girl had. After I die, apart from compensating me with a large sum of funeral expenses, I hope that my body can be transported back to my hometown, the capital. Then, help me choose a place with good feng shui to bury me. No problem. Even if it's 100,000 yuan per square meter, I'll buy it for you. Suyu chuckled. Yeah. I want to be buried in Babao Mountain. I don't ask for too much. Hearing her words, Suyu almost spat out blood in fury. Babao Mountain. Did I hear that right? Fuck. That's a place that even high officials can't enter. Are you dreaming? Suyu was so angry that he couldn't breathe. Babao Mountain was a holy place in the capital to be buried for the nation and the country and the people. Han Yueyao said that she didn't ask for too much. She was asking for too much. See? Since you can't do that, then don't kill me. Let me live. I've wanted to settle the score with you for a long time. Let me tell you, when I went to Mion's place yesterday, I heard. Suyu was about to settle the score with her. Han Yueyao tilted her head and smiled. Sister Mion, you're here. Suyu immediately turned his head, thinking that it was Huamin. Little did he know that Han Yueyao took the opportunity to slip under his arm and run out. Ah, Suyu, are you getting old? Your reflexes are getting worse. Are you going to get Alzheimer's? Han Yueyao laughed at him as she ran. At this moment, Suyu felt as if there were 10,000 alpacas in front of him, and, take this. Here's 3,000 yuan. Go and beat Han Yueyao up for me. Suyu took out a stack of cash and stuffed it into Anne's hand. Chapter 3650. Forget about 3,000 yuan. If she extorts me, it'll cost at least 300,000 yuan. It's not worth it, and waved his hand and rejected his boss's arrangement. Great. Even you're treating me like this now, President Su, I have a way to deal with Han Yueyao. What is it? Take her down and make her your woman. She will definitely listen to you obediently. Fuck you. Why don't you take her down? She's my employee and always finds fault with me. Take her down. Spare me. I still want to live for a few more days. Suyu felt that Anne's idea was ridiculous. At this moment, someone in the crowd shouted. Dr. Hua is here. She's so beautiful today. Suyu looked in the direction of the crowd. Qin Chu and Huamin had already gotten out of the car. Qin Chu was wearing a white shirt, a sapphire blue vest, and suit pants. He looked extremely noble and luxurious. Huamin was wearing a long tulle gown. It was apricot pink and was close to the color of her skin. It was very low-key and suited her temperament and personality. Perhaps it was because of such a simple outfit that people felt comfortable and real looking at. There was no heavy makeup, no slight plastic surgery, and no fancy dress or jewels. Huamin only had one ring on her hand, the same as Qin Chu's. She didn't have any other accessories on her body. Her hair was a little longer than before, past her shoulders. Her hair was draped over her shoulders. The chiffon was a Korean version, so it covered her stomach and made her look less fat. She didn't look like a bloated pregnant woman at all. Huamian held Qin Chu's hand, and the two of them walked over with smiles on their faces. The media at the scene quickly picked up their cameras to capture them. Behind them were the twins in red dresses. Both sisters were wearing black berets today, looking like little princesses. The two children were held by their grandpa and grandma. Qin Chu's mother was wearing a long dark red cheongsam with an expensive pearl necklace around her neck. She looked graceful and luxurious. Qin Chu's father was only wearing a Chinese tunic suit. It was dark gray, and the style had always been simple and plain. The old couple walked behind Qin Chu and Huamin with their child, with bodyguards on both sides. It seemed that Qin Chu had dispatched all his bodyguards to ensure the safety of this birthday banquet. The last to walk out were Qin Ning and Tang Chuan. The two of them were also from the Qin clan. Qin Ning's taste had always been very European, so her clothes were very stylish. She wore a dark green jumpsuit with a big mouth. It was a little exaggerated, but she had a very good temperament. Tang Chuan, on the other hand, was dressed in a limited edition Versace suit with floral patterns all over it. It was a little flamboyant, which was also in line with his gossipy character. Wei Liao and the others hadn't arrived yet. Seeing Su Yu, Huamin and Qin Chu walked up to Su Yu. "Thank you, Lord Su, for coming." Huamin smiled. "Don't say useless things. Today is Dr. Hua's birthday." "Happy birthday." "Yeah, happy. Very happy." Huamin leaned on Qin Chu's shoulder like a little bird, looking very happy. "Okay. It's windy outside. Hurry up and get on the cruise." "What about you? Do you want to come with us?" "I'll wait for that damned girl here." So you didn't want to waste the 200,000 yuan worth of clothes he had given away. Okay. Without asking more questions, Huamin and Qin Chu got on the cruise hand in hand. After Qin Chu and the others got on the cruise, the security on the cruise was strict. Every guest on the cruise had to have their fingerprints scanned and face checked. They also had to show Qin Chu's special invitation. Inside the luxurious cabin, Pudding walked up to Huamin and asked secretly, "Mommy, will Auntie and Grandpa come today?" Chapter 3651. No. I don't think so. I don't want them to come. Huamin gently stroked Pudding's head and looked at his daughter. Why? My sister and I both look like Grandpa and Auntie. Pudding was a very sensible child. She rarely asked pointless questions without considering the big picture. This time, she was really hopeful. She thought her mother's birthday came only once a year. Grandpa and Auntie seemed to love her mother so much that they should come to celebrate her mother's birthday, right? Because if they come, they'll be in danger. There are many bad guys out there who want to catch Grandpa and Auntie. Today is Mommy's birthday and those bad guys are watching. If Grandpa and Auntie come, they'll be noticed. Then I'll go to Daddy and ask him to kill the bad guys. Huamin smiled gently. Even a child prodigy like Pudding's world was simple. It was relatively simple for her to think things through. No matter how powerful Daddy is, he can't find all the bad guys hiding in the dark. If some of them slip through the net, Auntie and Grandpa will be in great danger. Alright, if that's the case, I think I understand. Pudding looked disappointed after understanding her mother's words. Ha! Look, Auntie Xiaowei and the others are here. Yunchu is here too. Huamin changed the topic to divert Pudding's attention. The mother and daughter looked toward the entrance of the cruise ship. Sure enough, Jiang Xiaowei and her family had arrived. Wei Ying and her mother were there with Wei Liao and the others. She was Jiang Xiaowei's mother-in-law. The old lady was in a good mood and walked with her daughter behind Wei Liao and Jiang Xiaowei. She was wearing a silk cheongsam from a luxury brand and looked dignified. Obviously, she was the wife of a rich upper-class family. Huamin took Pudding's hand and hurried over to greet them. Wei Yunchu was happy to see Pudding. Pudding. Pudding smiled shyly. You didn't come with Buyuan. No, Auntie Lingling said she ordered longevity peaches for Auntie Mian, so she went to pick them up. She'll be back soon, Wei Yunchu answered happily. Pudding, take Yunchu over there to find your sister. If you're hungry, ask Daddy to find you something to eat. Okay, Mommy. Putting led Wei Yunchu to the main hall of the cruise ship. Hua Min greeted Wei Liao's mother and chatted happily with Jiang Xiaowei and Wei Ying. At this time, Siyu still hadn't boarded the ship. Tang Chuan circled around and greeted everyone. Feeling bored, he began to look for Su Yu. She finally found him at the entrance. Hey, Lord Su, why are you in a daze here? Come, follow me. We'll find Master Wei and fight the landlord for a while. You look like a landlord to me. Su Yu chuckled. Damn, you've been single for 10,000 years. You're always going crazy on holidays like this. But I understand. You're an old single man. You're full of fire and have nowhere to vent. Hee hee, why don't I introduce you to a beauty tonight and bring her home to vent your fire? Tang Chuan laughed lewdly. Su Yu gave him a dirty look. Don't give me these crooked tricks. Besides, I brought a female companion today. I'm not a bachelor anymore. I've had enough of this, whoa. Really? Don't lie to me. I'm not lying to you. If you're lying to me, you're a super green shell, invincible, and white-haired bastard who's afraid of water, Tang Chuan said out of nowhere. Su Yu kicked Tang Chuan in the butt. Where the hell did you get these fancy words from? Mr. Tang, President Su didn't lie to you. He does have a companion today. And giggled. Is it Xing Ro? No, it's not her. Su Yu immediately denied it. Whoa. This is interesting. Where's the girl? Pull her out and let me see. Tang Chuan looked around in excitement. What kind of person could make Su Yu bring her to such an occasion? Chapter 3652. Tang Chuan was looking around when Han Yueyao came out. After teasing Su Yu, she ran away and changed her clothes in a nearby washroom. Then, she put the dress she was wearing into a bag and held it in her hand. As the saying goes, clothes make the man. Han Yueyao was a beautiful woman, although she wasn't as beautiful as Lu Yan. However, she was definitely one of the most outstanding beauties in the crowd, the first sight of her. So, after putting on this expensive gown, her aura changed. That one over there is her, and pointed it out and told Tang Chuan. Damn, when did you meet her? You're good. Lord Su, you're flirting with a girl without telling your brother. Why should I tell you everything about my private affairs? Don't try to get close to me. You keep calling us brothers. Damn it, ever since you met Qin Ning, do you still see me as your brother? Ha ha ha, look at our boss. He's full of resentment. And was amused to see his boss in such a state. At this moment, Han Yueyao walked up. After changing, she really looked like a different person. Then, she glanced at Su Yu and said calmly, let's go. Hello, beauty. Let me introduce myself. I'm Lord Su's. Hello, Mr. Tang. How do you know? I've heard about you from Su Yu. I've heard a lot about you. Haha, that's right. I'm indeed very famous. No wonder you know. I understand. Damn it, stop bragging. Get out of the way. Go and accompany your little ancestor. Otherwise, Qin Ning will skin you alive. Su Yu pushed Tang Chuan away with a smile, stopping him from teasing Han Yueyao. Then, the two of them walked in. President Su, you guys go in first. I'll take a breather at the entrance, and said. Su Yu knew that and was hoping that Lu Yan would come. If Lu Yan came, she would definitely come in from the entrance. After all, this was the only way. So, he didn't say anything or expose him. The two of them walked in together. Although the two of them wore matching clothes, there was still a distance between them. They didn't hold hands or hug each other's shoulders like other couples. After all, this was their relationship. How do you know Tang Chuan? Su Yu kept a straight face and looked ahead. Those who didn't know would think that he was talking to the sea in front of him. Excuse me, is President Su talking to me? If not with you, then with the air. But shouldn't we look into each other's eyes when we talk? Han Yueyao smiled slightly. I can no longer look you in the eye, Su Yu teased. Indeed. After all, I'm too beautiful. You're afraid that you can't take your eyes off me. I don't blame you. Hee, you're slow at learning other things, but you sure are skilled at shamelessness. You can even say such things. You're flattering me. I wasn't this capable before. Ever since I came to Imperial Star, I've changed a lot. I think like boss, like employee. Su Yu, so, you haven't answered my question. How do you know Tang Chuan? I don't remember telling you about my buddies. Su Yu was indeed curious. It was indeed strange that Han Yueyao recognized Tang Chuan. Come on, Weibo is already full of information about you. Let alone me, even a random fan of yours would know about it, okay? So you women are so gossipy. Su Yu looked at her in disdain. Isn't that because you're a gossiper? Don't you know why you're the most gossipy among the 4 young masters of Sea City? Han Yueyao retorted. Chapter 3653. What do you mean? Come on, tell me about it. Su Yu called out her number. Don't. It's Sister Mion's birthday today. I'll tell you about it when I'm free. After all, it'll take 3 days and 3 nights. Su Yu, President Su, have you heard of a saying? What saying? Su Yu tilted his head and looked at Han Yueyao curiously. A fly doesn't bite a seamless egg. So you mean I'm that egg? Su Yu tilted his head and asked unhappily. No, you misunderstood. I mean you're that fly. Okay, Han Yueyao, you said I'm a fly, right? Then I'll show you what a fly is today. Su Yu grabbed Han Yueyao's arm and was about to pull her to the side. To his surprise, the girls suddenly shouted, Hey, what are you doing, President Su? There are too many people here. It's not good to do that. Su Yu, her voice immediately attracted the strange looks of the people around them. Su Yu wanted to find a hole in the ground and hide in it. His illustrious reputation had been ruined by a greedy little girl. Han Yueyao smiled smugly. She had ways to deal with Su Yu. Of course, the premise was that Su Yu didn't really want to do anything to her. She knew this man's bad temper was a bluff. In fact, he was very gentle and loyal. She had heard all kinds of news about Su Yu, both positive and negative, and there were many versions of it. However, she could never understand a person from other people's mouths. She had to see it for herself. During this period of time, Han Yueyao found that Su Yu was a good person, but sometimes he was as innocent and childish as a child. So, she especially liked to anger him. Yao, you're here. Hua Min stood in front of them. Su Yu was even more embarrassed to bully Han Yueyao. Sister Mian. The dress is beautiful. It suits you very well. I tricked President Su into wearing it. How dare you say that? Su Yu glared at her unhappily. Hua Min chuckled. It's fine. Your President Su is a tycoon. Even if he gets scammed once a day, he won't go bankrupt. Ha ha ha. Han Yueyao burst into laughter. Su Yu was speechless. Hua Min, whose side are you on? Why are you siding with an outsider? Who's helping outsiders? They're not outsiders. All right. Su Yu, while the 3 of them were chatting, a voice sounded behind them. You're all here. I've been looking for you for a long time. Huamin and Su Yu turned around at the same time and saw Xingro in a black evening gown. She had put on very beautiful makeup tonight. It was obvious that she had dressed up meticulously. She was holding a small bag in her hand. It was obvious that it was a classic from a famous brand. He hadn't seen Xingro like this for a long time. "You're here." Huamin greeted her with a smile. "Yeah. I don't know anyone here, so I thought I'd come to you. Lord Su, you won't mind if I'm a third wheel, right?" "No," Su said mildly. He glanced at Xingro and didn't say anything else. Xingro's eyes fell on Han Yueyao. "Little girl, this dress isn't cheap. Lord Su is really generous, he's willing to spend money on girls. But you're not fair to me. When I lived in your house for so long, I mopped the floor and made breakfast as a nanny. Why didn't you buy me a decent dress?" "My heart feels like it's bleeding," Xingro said with a faint smile. The others didn't know if she was joking or not. Huamin didn't know how much she meant to Su Yu, but he knew she didn't come here with good intentions. Chapter 3654. "So, as your ex, you're not here to celebrate Sister Mian's birthday but to pick a fight with Su Yu, right?" Han Yueyao broke the silence. Hee hee. "Of course not. I was just joking. You don't have to take it so seriously." Xingro didn't argue with Han Yueyao's sarcastic words. "Of course. I was just joking. Miss Seng, you don't have to take it so seriously." Han Yueyao smiled and held Su Yu's arm intimately. "Big brother Su Yu, let's go eat something over there. I'm hungry." "Okay." Su Yu nodded and glanced at Xingro with a mild expression. "Excuse me." "Go ahead." Xingro smiled and didn't make things difficult for him. After Su Yu and Han Yueyao left, Xingro walked up to Huamin with a smile. "Mian, you look good in this dress. It suits you very well." "Thank you." "You, too. I'm glad I can come to your birthday party. Don't worry. I won't pick a fight with you or embarrass you. I'll do what I said." "Okay. I know you're not that kind of person." Huamin said this because he was afraid Xingro would be agitated and pick a fight with Su Yu. After all, there were some famous media companies present. It wouldn't be good if someone wrote something about it based on groundless accusations. Xingro didn't say much. After chatting with Huamin for a while, she went to the lounge to drink champagne and watch the night sky on the cruise ship. Lady Su came alone because Lord Su and his father were always away on business trips. She was lonely. Fortunately, Huamin got her a job at Southside Recuperation Center as a charity worker. When Mrs. Su came, she brought her assistant with her. She was a woman in her 30s who looked very elegant. Some rich ladies on the cruise ship saw Lady Su and hurried over to greet her. Wei Liao's mother also went over to catch up with her. When Huamin saw her, it was already 20 minutes later. The twins were very happy to see Lady Su. He jogged over. "Grandma Su, Grandma Su. My two little darlings. I haven't seen you for a few days, but you've become prettier. Grandma Su, why are you here alone? Where's Lord Su and Great-Grandpa?" Little Bean looked around curiously. The two of them are still busy. Only Grandma came over. "Oh, okay. Grandma, come with me. I left you some delicious tiramisu." Little Bean winked at her. "Okay, thank you, my little baby." "Grandma Su, who is the auntie next to Handsome Su? Is she his girlfriend?" Little Bean continued to gossip in a low voice. Lady Su raised her head and glanced in the direction of her son. After clearly seeing his female companion, Lady Sue was exceptionally happy. Yeah, that's Uncle Sue's new girlfriend. Isn't she pretty? Yes, she's pretty. I like her. Little Bean snickered. At this time, Mrs. Sue hugged Pudding again. Little Pudding, did you miss Grandma? Yes. In a few days, when your great-grandpa and the others come back, you two can come and stay for a few days, okay? Okay. Little Bean nodded sensibly. Huamin walked up. Auntie, why are you here? Didn't you say that we were a group of young people fooling around? It's not a serious banquet, so I didn't want you to come and fool around with us. Your birthday only comes once a year, so I'm here. Lady Sue smiled and then looked at Huamin, who was not far away. You and Yao are getting along very quickly. Chapter 36:55. I'm not sure. Huamin never lied. Although Su Yu brought Han Yueyao to the party, he didn't know the truth. But the two of them were definitely not dating. It's okay. They're both young people. I'm sure they'll get used to it soon. Lady Su seemed to be optimistic about their relationship. Auntie, I have a question for you. Go ahead. Lady Su had been in a good mood and looked at Huamin lovingly. Grandpa Su said that the Su family wouldn't marry a female artist. That means a woman from the entertainment industry, right? Yeah. That's what the old master said. If Han Yueyao becomes a star, an imperial star, and becomes famous, don't worry. That won't happen. I won't let you make her famous. Lady Su said confidently. Huamin felt guilty again. She suddenly felt it was unwise to ask Jiang Yi to take care of Han Yueyao. For a long time, Su Yu hadn't helped Han Yueyao much. At least, he didn't make any extra arrangements for her career. Perhaps Mrs. Su was certain that she wouldn't be able to make a name for herself, so she was confident that she was the one for Su Yu. What if, Auntie, don't overthink it. I'm just hypothesizing. What if she becomes famous and a famous star? Then, do you still think she and Su Yu can be together? Huamin asked cautiously. After all, it concerns Su Yu's future. If so, it's up to you. In fact, as long as Yu is willing, even if she's an orphan on the street, the Su family won't mind. If Yu doesn't like her, we won't want her even if she's the president's daughter. This was the most domineering sentence Huamin had ever heard. Lady Su had used Huamin several times to introduce girls to Su Yu because of Su Yu's marriage. Huamian had a feeling that Auntie Su was a little selfish. But after hearing her words, Huamin admired this woman from the bottom of his heart. After all, not everyone in such a rich family could be so open-minded. Qin Chu's mother had strongly opposed Huamin's relationship because of his poor family background. Lady Su seemed to be on her son's side from the beginning to the end. Such a mother was indeed a great woman. Auntie, you're so kind. Su Yu is really lucky to have you as his son. Huamin was a little moved. Oh, lucky. I haven't spoiled you much these years. He went to the army at a young age and suffered a lot. After he came back, he started a company and became busier and busier. In fact, he spent very little time with me these years. I'm really happy to have him as my son. I can't say that my son is the best in the world, but, at least in my heart, he's the best. Auntie, I'm really impressed by your parenting style. I hope I can be such an open-minded mother when my second baby grows up. Huamin said as he touched his round belly. You will. This boy is really lucky to be born in your family. Lady Su reached out her hand lovingly and touched Huamin's belly. They chatted happily. Not far away, Xingro had stuck a tiny earphone in her ear. If one didn't look carefully, one would barely notice it. Standing in the living room and drinking champagne, she heard the conversation between Huamin and Lady Su clearly. Yes, when she was talking to Huamin, she had put a bug in his ear. The device as small as an ant was hidden in Huamin's hair, but Xingro didn't know it. Lu Yen, will you come back? Xingro smiled meaningfully. The chief had said to keep an eye on Huamin. It would take too long for them to get information about the professor. If possible, they would capture Lu Yen directly this time. Chapter 36-56. Su Yu brought Han Yuao onto the yacht, which caused a great sensation. Different from Xingro, Han Yuao was more open. She wasn't afraid of anyone. After all, she wasn't Su Yu's girlfriend, so she didn't have to worry about her performance. But in this way, she left a good impression on the others. After the twins were taught a lesson by their mommy, they didn't dare to provoke Su Yu's female companion. However, she couldn't suppress her curiosity, so the two sisters had the following conversation that was at a loss whether to laugh or cry. Little Bean, sis, are you curious about the woman handsome Su brought? Pudding, not really. Little Bean, don't you want to know the relationship between her and handsome Su? Pudding, do you have to ask? They look so close. What relationship do you think they have? Little Bean, maybe it's fake. Like last time, Auntie Xingro pretended to be handsome Su's girlfriend, right? But she didn't succeed in the end. Pudding, so, if it's fake this time, we don't have to be curious. Little Bean, but what if it's real? Pudding, we don't dare to verify it. Last time, Mommy was so angry. If we gossip again, Mommy will spank us. Little Bean, for handsome Su's happiness, it's okay to be spanked. Sis, if you can't even recognize the pain, you're not a tough girl. Pudding, I never said I was a girl. If you want to do it, then do it. What's the point of talking nonsense here? Little Bean, do you think I don't dare? Pudding, then do it. Little Bean, I'm not afraid of being spanked by Mommy. It'll only hurt for a few days. But if I'm spanked, Grandpa, Grandma, Daddy, Auntie, and Auntie will feel bad for me. Oh, and Buiyuan will feel bad for me too. Pudding, so. Little Bean, so, you're the older sister. You should sacrifice yourself and test the waters. Pudding looked at her sister in amusement. Pudding, Little Bean, if you're spanked, so many people will feel bad for you. But if I'm spanked, no one will feel bad for me. What kind of logic is that? Little Bean, sis, calm down. I'll analyze it for you. If I'm spanked, will you feel bad for me too? Pudding didn't say anything and continued to stare at her sister quietly. Little Bean continued, but if you get hit by me, I won't feel bad. Ha ha ha. So, compared to the two of us, there are more people who feel bad for me and fewer people who feel bad for you. So, you have to do it. Pudding, you don't dare to mess with Mommy and Daddy now, so you're professional messing with your sister, right? Little Bean, hee hee, my sister is rich. She can take whatever she wants. Pudding, get lost. I don't want to do that. Let's just wait and see. If handsome Su really likes her, we'll see. Little Bean, but I can't wait that long. Ah, I think I know it now. Pudding, then why don't you figure it out yourself? Seeing that her persuasion was useless, Little Bean turned around and went to find the honest Gao Buiyuan. Buiyuan, let's play a game, okay? What game? Chase after me. If you catch me, I'll kiss you, Little Bean continued. Aw. We're in public. I don't think it's appropriate, Gao Buiyuan said with a red face. If you don't want to play with me, then forget it. I'll play with Brother Yunchu. Then, Little Bean turned to leave. Gao Buiyuan grabbed her with his chubby hand. Come back. How can you play with someone else? Gao Buiyuan was very displeased. So, you agree? Okay. Then you can run. I'll chase after you, okay. Hurry up and chase after me. Then, Little Bean began to run like crazy. Although she was chubby, she ran very fast. She dashed towards Su Yu and Han Yueyao. Then, she pretended to bump into Han Yueyao by accident. Han Yueyao lost her balance and dropped the red wine in her hand. The red wine in her hand spilled all over Su Yu's black and white shirt. Su Yu lowered his head and looked at the messy state his expensive shirt was in. He felt as if someone was going to die. Chapter 3657. Han Yueyao. Su Yu's tone was especially gentle this time. But the gentler he was, the more frightened Han Yueyao was. President Su, leave my body intact. Seeing Han Yueyao's reaction, Su Yu was both angry and amused. Little Bean hid behind Han Yueyao. She had thought the woman would immediately tell Su Yu that she bumped into her. But Han Yueyao didn't mention that she was bumped into by a kid. Okay, I admit defeat. I've grown up and I admit defeat to you. I'll go change my clothes. Although Su Yu was angry, he didn't waste time. She found a lounge and went in. Then, she took a new shirt from Chin Chu and changed. After Su Yu left, Han Yueyao turned around. She looked at Little Bean who was hiding by the table. Come out. Have you seen enough? Why didn't you say I bumped into you? Whether you bumped into me or not, I spilled the wine. So I apologized. Han Yueyao was optimistic. You're reasonable. Little Bean chuckled. So, don't you want to apologize to me? Han Yueyao squatted down and looked at Little Bean with interest. No. I did it on purpose. On purpose? Why? Han Yueyao was surprised. It's a prank, a kid's prank. Do you understand? I don't understand. Do you want me to do it again? No. Don't do it again. I understand. If you do it again, I'll be fine. But Su Yu will skin me alive. Aren't you his girlfriend? Why would he skin you alive? Little Bean didn't believe her. Even if you're his girlfriend, you can't do whatever you want. Don't you know that you won't die if you don't ask for it? Haha. So you're afraid of handsome Su? Yeah, I'm scared of him. I'm so scared of him, he. Little Bean laughed smugly. So I forgive you this time. If you dare to be naughty again, I'll tell your mommy. Do you know who my mommy is? There were so many kids on the cruise ship. How could this woman know which family she was from? Please, there's only one pair of twins here. Alright, everyone on Earth knows that you're Dr. Hua and President Qin's daughter. Little Bean didn't expect this woman to be so smart. Alright, you win. My name is Pudding. If you want to complain, go ahead. I'm not afraid. Little Bean wanted her sister to be the scapegoat. However, Han Yueyao wasn't so easily fooled. You're trying to trick me again. Look at how naughty and lively you are. You must be Little Bean. No. I'm your sister. I'm Pudding. Han Yueyao stood up unhurriedly and yelled at the little girl who looked exactly the same as her. Pudding. Pudding heard someone calling her that day and turned around abruptly. Little Bean covered her face in embarrassment, turned around, and ran away. She wanted to tease Handsome Sue's new girlfriend, but she didn't expect Handsome Sue to see through her. Hearing Han Yueyao's call, Pudding walked over slowly. Auntie, did you call me? Yeah, I just wanted to know who's Pudding and who's Little Bean. Suyu often talks about you. Han Yueyao tried to smooth things over. Oh, I see. Do you want to eat something? I'll get it for you. Han Yueyao smiled. No, I'm not hungry. Thank you, Auntie. Pudding greeted her politely and turned to leave. Sure enough, the two sisters had completely different personalities. Compared to Little Bean, Pudding was much quieter and had a touch of sadness in her eyes. After Wei Ying came in, she chatted with her friends in the circle. She didn't notice Shen Mingxi at first and didn't see him until someone reminded her. Ying, young Master Shen is here. Chapter 36-58. Hearing that Shen Mingxi was here, Wei Ying subconsciously looked at the door. He was wearing a beige casual outfit and walked in alone. That's right, he walked in alone. Wei Ying was relieved that Hui Yanyan wasn't there. At this moment, someone in the industry said. Young Master Shen looks more and more haggard recently. I wonder if that vixen Hui Yanyan sucked all his essence dry. With that, the women laughed lewdly. Wei Ying was very uncomfortable to hear this. If it was before, everyone could tease him as much as they wanted. But recently, Shen Mingxi was indeed at his lowest point. The relationship between Shen Mingxi and Hui Yanyan kept going back and forth and caused a lot of commotion. The Wei family had already refused to work with the Shen family. As for the Tang family, because the older generation was more traditional, they were unwilling to work with this guy with a tarnished reputation. Tang Chuan didn't care about the family business, so naturally, he couldn't help. Su Yu was the only one who didn't plan to work with Shen Mingxi, but Shen Mingxi didn't invest in film and television. Therefore, he didn't have many opportunities to work with Su Yu. For some reason, the Yi family deliberately suppressed him. There were rumors outside. After Shen Mingxi's father had a heart transplant, he went to the United States to recuperate. His mother had also gone, and now he was holding the fort alone. However, he didn't know how long he could hold on. After Hui Yanyan returned, she seemed to have calmed down a lot on the surface. However, she still did a lot of bad things behind his back. She no longer cared about her reputation, so she took advantage of her shamelessness. She even seduced those old men. In the end, Shen Mingxi was implicated by her infamous reputation. Of course, she didn't have the ability to make those business moguls work together to suppress Shen Mingxi. She only used her identity as Shen Mingxi's girlfriend to ruin his reputation. Then, she let the media distort the report and cause the Shen family's business to decline. Of course, there must be someone supporting Hui Yanyan behind the scenes. Otherwise, where would she get the money to eat and use, including the money to deliberately smear the Shen family's reputation? Shen Mingxi had become more and more low-key. If it were anyone else, they would have already found someone to break Hui Yanyan's legs. However, Shen Mingxi had always cared about the fact that she was Tiantian's only family in this world. She was Tiantian's mother. Therefore, he didn't do anything to her. However, Hui Yanyan, this woman, not only didn't feel grateful, she became even worse. Young Master Shen is so funny, this cuckold, haha. That's right. If it were any other man, they wouldn't have been able to take it. Hui Yanyan is such a troublemaker, yet he can still tolerate it. No wonder everyone calls him, the Ninja Turtle. Ha! Hearing the mockery, Wei Ying finally couldn't take it anymore. Stop talking. Xiaoying, don't tell me you still have feelings for him. It's not that we want to nag at you, but he's just like a stray dog now. How can he be worthy of you? The Shen family's stock market is shrinking. I'm afraid their total assets are less than 1% of your family's. You shouldn't have anything to do with such a person. That's right, Xiaoying. The media reports are really bad. Everyone is avoiding him like he's the plague. Don't get yourself into trouble at this time. You'll bring shame to the Wei family. These little sisters were all talking at once. But Wei Ying didn't listen to him. She stood up and walked toward the door. Shen Mingxi walked in and saw Wei Ying. But he didn't seem to want to greet her. He turned around and was about to leave, and Wei Ying called out to him. Big brother Mingxi. Xiao Ying, you're here too. Shen Mingxi had to stop and greet her reluctantly. You saw me and still wanted to leave. I don't understand why you're avoiding me. Wei Ying stared at Shen Mingxi's face with displeasure. Chapter 36:59. Oh, I didn't. I saw you, chatting with your friends and didn't want to disturb you. I don't believe you. Is that true? Wei Ying looked at Shen Mingxi sadly. After Su Xiaoxiao reminded her at the KTV, she went downstairs to see him. They hadn't seen each other until now. During this time, Wei Ying tried to send Shen Mingxi WeChat messages, but he didn't reply. But he liked Wei Ying's posts on WeChat moments. Wei Ying was confused. What was going on with him? He wasn't heartless. Every time they saw each other, they still felt like a couple. But now, when they met, she felt strange. Ying, I've been in a lot of bad news lately, I know. The company isn't doing well. My dad went to the US for treatment, so I'm really tired. I know. So I don't look like I'm in a good state. You should stay away from me, in case I bring bad news to you. What do you mean? I'm thinking about you. I don't need you to think about me. You didn't think about me before, and I don't need your fake kindness now. Wei Ying was angry at Shen Mingxi's behavior. He proposed to her and sent her flowers on Valentine's Day. Then he showed all kinds of concern and waited for her downstairs. Now he was telling her to stay away from him so she wouldn't be implicated. What did he mean by that? Then think of it as fake kindness. Shen Mingxi tilted his head and licked his dry lips. He had been under a lot of pressure recently, so he thought a lot. Maybe he really couldn't give Wei Ying happiness anymore. Shen Mingxi, are you a kid? You were the one who wanted to marry me, and you were the one who wanted to divorce me. Later, you were the one who proposed to make peace with me, and now you're the one who wants me to stay away from you. What do you want? Don't you think your actions are contradictory? Wei Ying questioned him harshly. Then think of me as a psycho. Maybe I'm just a lunatic like Hui Yanyan. Then, Shen Mingxi stood up and left. Wei Ying stayed where she was, feeling empty in her heart. Ying, why are you standing at the door? It's cold. Yi Xiaoyang came over at some point. He took off his suit jacket and put it on Wei Ying. I don't need it. Wei Ying took it off and threw it into his hand. Then, she turned around and walked away, not giving the Yi family kid any face. Not far away, Huamin and Qin Chu were standing at the entrance of the lounge upstairs, hand in hand, watching the crowd coming and going downstairs. Hubby, didn't you say that this is just a gathering of close friends? Why are there so many people here? Did you send out the invitations? Huamin was a little surprised. Even the Yi family could come in. How was this a birthday celebration? This was a business gathering, right? These are the invitations sent out by the Tang family. Because Tang Chuan is the organizer, many members of the Tang family came. But the Tang family also brought many friends. I can't stop them at the door, can I? I knew it wasn't you. Huamin smiled. Mian, are you hiding something from me? No, why do you suddenly ask? Huamin pretended to be calm. I just feel that you haven't been yourself since you came back from work this afternoon. Qin Chu reached out and smoothed her long hair. Oh, maybe I'm too tired from work. Huamin didn't tell Qin Chu her secret. Even now, she still didn't want to talk about Hua Xiqin. Because it was a part of her nightmare. At this moment, a commotion came from the entrance. Someone yelled, "Look! That woman, Hui Yanyan, is here. How dare she come here?" Chapter 3660. Qin Chu and Huamin both turned around. They looked down at the entrance from the second floor. Sure enough, it was Hui Yanyan. She was dressed coquettishly because half of her chest was exposed in the gown. The slit at the bottom was also very high. When she walked, her long legs swayed. It was a very scheming outfit. "I have an invitation. Why can't you let me in?" Hui Yanyan argued with the bodyguards at the entrance. The bodyguards that came tonight had been protecting Huamin for a long time, so they naturally knew that this woman and a young lady were incompatible. So they refused to let her in. "You can't go in even if you have an invitation." "Why can't I go in?" Hui Yanyan raised her voice as if she wanted to attract the attention of the media. At this time, the media had already come over carefully to secretly record. "No reason. We just won't let you in." Most of the bodyguards were very good at fighting, but they weren't very smart with words. So, they couldn't give a reason. They just insisted on not letting Hui Yanyan in. "Everyone, come and see. Huamin's bodyguards are so unreasonable. I have an invitation, but I can't go in. Aren't they deliberately making fun of me? If you don't let me in, then I'll block the entrance today and make sure no one else can go in." Hui Yanyan was deliberately making a scene to create an awkward situation. The two bodyguards looked at each other and went up to Hui Yanyan to pull her away by her arms. "Help! Huamin's bodyguards are molesting me." As soon as the bodyguards touched Hui Yanyan's arms, she screamed. Obviously, she had already thought of a countermeasure. More and more people came to watch. There were all kinds of people pointing and talking. At this time, Huamin walked up. "Let her go." "A young lady, okay, you guys can leave. I'll handle this." "Yes." "Whoa. The main character is here." Hui Yanyan smiled hypocritically. "What do you want now?" "Of course, I'm here to celebrate your birthday, my good sister." Hui Yanyan deliberately emphasized the word sister with a strong sense of sarcasm. "You flatter me." "I don't have a sister as capable as Huamin replied in a sarcastic tone. "We share the same surname, so of course we're capable. You don't have to be polite with me." "But, my good sister, I'll let bygones be bygones. I'll let bygones be bygones when you killed my mom and my brother. I'll let bygones be bygones when you colluded with Hua Xiqian to take away my Mingxi and Tian Tian for her sister-in-law, Wei Ying. I'll let bygones be bygones when you colluded with Jiang Xiaowei to help her sister-in-law, Wei Ying, take away my Mingxi and Tian Tian. I'll even let bygones be bygones when you colluded with your husband and the director of the Municipal Public Security Bureau to send me to a mental hospital. Are you afraid of me? Afraid of you? I'm sorry, but I've never cared about you. I didn't think you could cause any trouble in the past few years. Don't you know how capable you are?" Although they were in public, Huamin's words were sharp and didn't give Hui Yanyan any face. "I'm here to celebrate your birthday. Why did your bodyguards bar me from entering? I don't remember sending you an invitation, right?" Huamin didn't answer her question. Instead, he asked about the invitation. "Of course not. It's written in black and white. My invitation isn't fake." Hui Yanyan held the invitation smugly in her hand. She wanted to tell Huamin that she had the ability to get the invitation. "Oh, I forgot. You and young Master Yi are allies now. Getting the invitation is a piece of cake for you. Hua Min nodded calmly. What nonsense are you talking about? Hui Yanyan's expression changed. At this moment, Yi Xiaoyang standing beside Wei Ying also looked terrified. You know Hui Yanyan. Wei Ying reacted and questioned him angrily. Chapter 36-61. No. I don't know him. Then why did you say that, Sister Mian? Maybe. Dr. Ho wasn't talking about me. After all, there are many people with the surname Yi. Yi Xiaoyang looked guilty. You know best whether I'm talking nonsense or not. Don't think that you can rest easy just because he got you out of the mental hospital. Hui Yanyan, do you really want to kill yourself before you stop? What? Do you want to kill me? Come on. Do it. No. Killing you will only dirty my hands. You'd better go back. I have the right to refuse you entry to my birthday party, regardless of whether you have an invitation or not. Hua Min, are you going to turn against me? Didn't we do it before? Hua Min sneered. Fine. Since you don't welcome me, then, as your sister, I have to prepare a gift for you. Then, Hui Yanyan took out a stack of photos from her bag and waved them in the air. The photos scattered on the floor. They were photos of Shinjiani and Huasi. But they weren't photos of Shinjiani and Huasi. Their faces were either covered in blood or their eyes were wide open. It was like a horror movie. Some of the onlookers stepped back in fright and cursed Hui Yanyan for being a psycho. Of course, these photos were photoshopped. Her purpose was simple, she wanted to disgust Hua Min. Su Yu couldn't help but clench his fists. Damn it. This woman is crazy. How dare she show such horrifying photos to a pregnant woman? She's up to no good. I'm going to smash her pig head. President Su, calm down. Let's wait and see, Han Yueyao stopped him. She grabbed Su Yu's hand and asked him to look down. Qin Chu cared about Hua Min the most. No one loved Hua Min more than he did. But at this moment, he didn't do anything. He just stood behind Hua Min and watched quietly. What did this mean? Did he not care about Hua Min? Of course not. It could only mean that he knew what Hua Min was capable of. It was true that Hui Yanyan could not play any tricks today. Her abilities were limited. It was impossible to bring in any dangerous items on the cruise ship. The bodyguards would probably discover it before she could even begin to set it up. Therefore, she only wanted to annoy Hua Min. It was said that pregnant women were afraid of stimulation, so she found someone to Photoshop many scary photos of her mother and brother, hoping to stimulate Hua Min. Even if he gave her a scare, he would still feel better. He just didn't expect that. Hua Min lowered his head, picked up the photos scattered on the ground, and glanced at them. She raised her head and asked Hui Yanyan, "Do you think I'll be scared when you show me these photos?" Hui Yanyan didn't say anything. She couldn't figure out what Hua Min was thinking. Hui Yanyan, you're really an idiot. Normal people would be scared when they see these photos, even men. But have you forgotten that I'm a doctor? I've been the first to rescue the injured at the scene of a car accident. Their wounds were so severe that normal people couldn't even look at them directly. I deal with the dead almost every day. Some were hanged, some were knocked to death, some committed suicide by cutting their wrists, and some were stabbed dozens of times with their intestines torn out. There was also one that was the most miserable I've ever seen. A woman who cheated on him had her hands and legs chopped off by her perverted husband. Her neck was almost severed as well. When she was sent to the hospital, her head was only connected to her body by a single tendon. But miraculously, she wasn't completely dead. She was like an incomplete monster. Aw. Stop talking, stop talking. Hui Yanyan widened her eyes and covered her ears as she screamed, "Oh! Stop talking, stop talking." Upon hearing Huamin's explanation, Hui Yanyan was the first to break down. Suyu almost vomited when he heard what Huamian said. Her ultimate move was truly ruthless. "So Hui Yanyan, you're using these photos to scare a doctor. Are you brainless?" Huamin smiled slightly. Chapter 3662. Psycho. Huamin, you're a real psycho. You're the same as Hui Xiqin. You're too scary, Hui Yanyan cursed and ran away in exasperation. The bodyguards wanted to chase after her but were stopped by Huamin. "Forget it. Let her be. She spends all her energy trying to find trouble with me. If she doesn't do this, she'll feel empty. After all, it's her only mental support." This small episode didn't have much of an impact. As the VIPs entered the ballroom one after another, Huamin turned around and went upstairs. "Mian, is what you said true?" Suyu was curious. "What?" "What I told Hui Yanyan. Heads, arms, legs. Being a doctor is so scary." Suyu was still frightened by Huamin's description. "Oh, those. I made it up. Suyu, I said it to scare Hui Yanyan." "You're really talented." Suyu was surprised that Huamin could lie. In fact, being a doctor wasn't that scary. Huamin wasn't a doctor in the emergency room and naturally wouldn't come into contact with patients who were sent to the emergency room. So, what he said just now was really just to scare Hui Yanyan. He didn't expect that not only did he scare her, but he also shocked everyone. Tang Chuan opened a bottle of champagne inside. "Let's go in and celebrate." "Of course, you can only drink plain water." Suyu smiled. "No problem." Then Huamin, Qin Chu, and Suyu walked toward Tang Chuan's private room. Han Yueyao stopped in her tracks. "You guys go ahead. I want to walk around outside for a while. Let's go together." "We're not strangers," Huamin invited. "I'm used to messing around, so I'm afraid of it." "Ha! The cruise ship is so big, and there are so many fun things to do. I want to look around." Huamin glanced at Suyu, waiting for his reaction. "Do whatever you want," Suyu said casually. Then he went in with Huamin, Qin Chu, and the others. Han Yueyao glared at him and turned to leave. She knew her position and didn't want to be like Suyu's girlfriend. Therefore, she tried her best not to attend such occasions, which was completely different from Xing Ro's style. Since she didn't know anyone, she decided to wander around the hall, take photos, post them on WeChat Moments, and eat. Unexpectedly, after Suyu left, Xing Ro came looking for trouble. "Whoa! You're not always with Lord Su. After all, you're his new favorite. I was wondering who it was. Sure enough, you're still following me. I told you the new one will replace the old one. Just give up." Han Yueyao didn't back down. "I lived in Suyu's house for a long time." Xing Ro deliberately misled Han Yueyao. "Didn't he not touch you at all? What's there to be proud of? He told you everything." Xing Ro's expression changed, surprised that Suyu told Han Yueyao everything. "Needless to say, I can guess. Only a woman like you, whom he never touched, would be full of resentment." "You." Xing Ro was speechless in fury. Han Yueyao continued to take selfies leisurely, looking for good angles. "Little girl, you don't have to be proud. Suyu changes women faster than he changes clothes. Before long, you'll be his ex and end up like me." "No, I won't be the same as you. I won't be full of resentment. Even if it's me in the future, we'll part on good terms." Big sister sang, please, don't follow me and sue you like a ghost. You're more active than the paparazzi. If you have time to care about yourself, hurry up and find a boyfriend and have sex with him. Look at the pimples on your face, it's obvious that your hormones are out of whack. Chapter 36-63. Hee hee. You dare to say anything because Suyu dotes on you. Aren't you afraid that you'll be miserable if Suyu abandons you? That's my business. I'm a beggar on the street. It's none of your business. Han Huiyao thought Xing worried too much. You've been with Suyu for a long time and know everything about him. So what? You must know who Suyu loves the most. Xing smiled wickedly. I know. So what? It's not you. Han Yueyao crossed her arms before her chest, not afraid of Xing at all. She knew who Xing was, but Han Yueyao thought. Even if you're the daughter of a governor and I didn't break the law, you can't do anything to me, right? Besides, Xing came here for a purpose. Of course, she thought Xing came to win back Suyu. You're so eloquent. Let's see if you dare to be so arrogant in the future. Every dog has its day. Xing sneered. Sister Zhang, I'm the one who said that. Besides, you're so pathetic. Let me give you a piece of advice. Stop pestering him. No matter what kind of woman he is, you'll wear out a man's patience if you keep pestering him. Suyu might treat you as a friend. If you keep doing this, I'm afraid he'll lose all hope in you. Save your words for yourself. Don't jump off a building in Imperial Star after Suyu abandons you, Xing cursed viciously. Don't worry. Only idiots would jump off a building. I'm smart enough to extort a large amount of money from President Su after we break up. Then I'll use the money to date a young man. Oh yeah. Xing had a glib tongue, but she had to admit defeat in front of Han Yueyao. Why? Because Han Yueyao wasn't angry at all. She could deal with whatever she said. More importantly, she wasn't affected by anyone's words. As for her relationship with Suyu, everyone could think whatever they wanted, as long as she knew what was going on. This was her principle. Xing on the other hand, didn't seem to see this clearly. So, she fell deeply in love with Suyu and felt somewhat painful. You'll regret this. Xing was speechless when she saw that no matter how much she said, this woman was stubborn. He couldn't be bothered to speak any more nonsense, so he turned around and left. Xing walked back and forth in the hall. Qin Chu stood on the top floor and kept looking at her. He believed in his intuition that Xing purpose for coming here today was not simple. He seemed to be looking for something. Of course, Qin Chu didn't know that Xing had planted a high-end eavesdropping device on Huamin. Because it was used by the upper echelons of the military, it was very confidential and very high-end. Even Qin Chu's anti-eavesdropping system could not detect it. That was why Xing could walk back and forth on the cruise ship without fear. Qin Chu didn't mention this to Huamin, he just asked his men to keep an eye on Xing. They followed her secretly, afraid that this woman would cause trouble. After Xing left, Han Yueyao thought she could relax for a while and took out her cell phone to play a game. However, Lady Su came over at this moment. Yao Yao. Auntie Su, why are you here? Didn't I tell you not to let Suyu know that we know each other? Han Yueyao looked around in a panic, wondering if Suyu was nearby. It's okay. Everyone knows that you're Yu's date today. I came to say hello to you. It won't arouse suspicion. Lady Su was very smart and had thought of this. Han Yueyao smiled. To be honest, she was nervous every time she saw Lady Sue because she felt there was something in the latter's eyes that she couldn't see through. "How are you two doing?" Han Yueyao knew Lady Sue was asking about her relationship with Su Yu. Chapter 36-64. We've been doing well. Obviously, Han Yueyao was being perfunctory. But I heard you were transferred to the acting department. Do you really want to act in a movie? Lady Sue had eyes in the company and kept a close eye on Han Yueyao's every move. I offended our captain when I was a trainee and was exiled by President Su. Ha! Exiled? If you were really exiled, how did you get a supporting actress role? I heard the male lead is an experienced actor like Jiang Yi. Auntie Sue, about this, it was true that Han Yueyao didn't know about it. Hua Mian had told Jiang Yi about it, and that was how the situation had developed. Han Yueyao was grateful to Hua Mian from the bottom of her heart. She didn't want to act for fame, she wanted to make money. Jiang Ye's agent told Han Yueyao that this harem drama had 48 episodes. Since Han Yueyao was a newcomer and didn't get paid much, Jiang Yi offered her 10,000 yuan per episode. That meant she would get a total of 480,000 yuan for 48 episodes. These years were nothing to some of the more famous actors. But to Han Yueyao, it was a huge sum of money. With this money, she could buy a new car for her dad so he wouldn't be mocked for driving a BYD at his age. With this money, she could buy new clothes and scarves for her mom so her classmates wouldn't laugh at her mom for being stingy. With this money, she could buy herself beautiful dance outfits and dance shoes. She could also go to live performances by international dance masters. With this money, Han Yueyao could fulfill many of her dreams. Most importantly, she was the one who earned this money, so she felt at ease. But she also knew that if she did this, she would go against Lady Sue's original intention of sending her to Su Yu's company. Lady Sue obviously wanted to find a girlfriend for her son. She had emphasized before that her coming to Imperial Star was just a facade. It was just a facade. If she stayed as a trainee, she would never be able to debut. But now, not only was she going to debut, she was going to act in a movie with a movie king like Jiang Yi. How could Lady Sue not ask? But the difference was that Lady Sue was gentle even when she questioned him. This woman was different from the other rich ladies. She had her own way of doing things. She couldn't tell him that she didn't know it was Hua Mian who did it. That would mean that Hua Mian had helped him, but he had betrayed him. She would never allow herself to do such a disgusting thing. Therefore, she nodded and admitted openly, "Auntie Sue, I have indeed accepted the role." Why? Lady Sue quietly looked at the girl's delicate face. "I need money." "How much do you need?" "You can tell me." Lady Sue looked at her. "I don't want to tell you that I'm not a beggar. I don't want to ask you for money. It's not right and it's not my money. I want to earn it with my own efforts. But if I go to work, I won't be able to earn that much in a year. That's why I took this shortcut." "I'm sorry, Auntie Sue, I lied to you." "So, you plan to use me and Mian from the beginning to pave your career in film and television?" "Yes, I had this idea from the beginning." Han Yueyao admitted it all. "Very good. I didn't know that, you were so scheming." Lady Sue's tone was calm. "Auntie Sue, I'm sorry. If you think I've hurt you or lied to you, I'm willing to accept any punishment from you. Even if you kick me out, I won't complain." "Yao, if you had to choose between acting and you, which would you choose?" Lady Sue asked seriously. Han Yueyao suddenly remembered a report she had read a long time ago. It said that the Su family didn't allow Su Yu's women to be in the entertainment industry. Chapter 3665. Auntie Sue, Han Yueyao was about to speak when Su Yu walked over and interrupted them. Mom, don't make things difficult for my girlfriend. I didn't. I just came to see her and say hello. Really? Then why did I see Yao's smile look uglier than her crying face? Did you say something to her? I didn't. Don't accuse me. Like a child, Lady Sue explained to her son. Ha. Okay. Then go upstairs. Auntie Chin and Auntie Wei are waiting for you. Go play mahjong or fight the landlord. It's still early for the show. Hey. I haven't finished yet. Don't push me, just like that. Su Yu pushed his mother upstairs before she could finish her sentence. Then Su Yu came down to Han Yueyao. Stay away from my mother in the future. Why? Han Yueyao was puzzled. Because my mom is bewitched. She sees everyone as her daughter-in-law, ha ha ha. How can you say that about your mom? Are you crazy? Han Yueyao laughed. My mom is crazy. Anyway, next time, be smart and run away when you see her. I didn't see a ghost. You can pretend you saw a ghost. Ha. I'll tell your mom that you slandered her. Go. She's upstairs. But I'm sure you won't be able to come down in less than 2 hours. She'll nag at you. I believe you. Han Yueyao gave up. She didn't dare to go to Lady Sue. She was just bragging. Then go to a corner and have some food and drinks. Then you can play. What about you? Han Yueyao asked Su Yu. I'll go talk to some friends. Before she left, Su Yu told her worriedly, stay away from my mom and Xing Ro. Yes, they were the only 2 people who could cause trouble for Su Yu's girlfriend. After Su Yu left, Han Yueyao found a corner and sat down to play the game. When Pudding passed by, she sat down beside her. How much have you played, Auntie? About 2 months. Han Yueyao thought for a moment. You've already reached 700 levels in 2 months. Did you spend money to buy items? How could that be? My pockets are cleaner than my face. How could I have the money to buy these messy things? It's all based on the feel of my hand. Then you're really good. I'm playing this too. Really? Little Bean, how many levels have you played? Han Yueyao tilted her head and looked at Little Bean. Level 1500. I've been playing for less than 3 months. I didn't buy any items because I don't need them. Also, Auntie, let me correct you. I'm not Little Bean, I'm Pudding. At this moment, there were only a few voices in her mind. First, this kid had only been playing for 2 months, but she had reached level 1500, twice as many as she had. She had thought she was very good at reaching level 700 because Su Xiaoxiao had only reached level 300 and spent money to buy all kinds of items. Second, this kid didn't use any items and played by herself. She was a genius. Third, she was the legendary Pudding. It seemed she had been too focused on playing the game to notice the changes in their personalities. So you're the legendary Big Pudding. I've heard so much about you. After a long while, Han Yueyao said, making Pudding laugh. Chapter 3666. Auntie, are you always this funny? Funny? Am I? I think I'm very gentle. Han Yueyao commented on herself seriously. Fine. I'll take it that you're gentle. Why don't you play with your sisters? We're like Siamese twins. What's there to play with? If you look at your own face in the mirror all day long, won't you get tired? You have a point. Compared to Little Bean, Han Yueyao found Pudding more interesting. Pudding was only good at making jokes, acting coquettishly, acting cute, and it was said that she could flatter people. Of course, Han Yueyao had to learn her skills slowly. It was said that Pudding was calm, and quick-witted. She combined the strengths of her parents and was a perfect child. Her only shortcoming was that she was too mature and smart. She didn't have the intelligence of her age, so she lost the innocence of her age. But this was also a shortcoming. She wasn't an ordinary child, she was a child prodigy. "Auntie, are you from Jing City?" "Yeah." "Then why don't you have a Beijing accent?" "Because I learned Mandarin. If I was a dance teacher and spoke Beijing dialect, I wouldn't be able to dance." "Ha! Are you working at Imperial Star now?" Pudding continued to ask. "Yeah. I'm a handyman." "No. You're not an ordinary handyman. You're the boss's woman," Pudding corrected her. "Yeah. It's temporary. Maybe I'll be replaced one day." Ha ha ha. Han Yueyao chatted with Pudding while playing the game. "No. He won't be replaced unless you have a purpose for getting close to him." Han Yueyao's hand paused slightly with the cell phone in her hand. Pudding's words weren't simple. She meant that if Pudding approached Su Yu with a purpose, it would be troublesome. It's good to have a purpose. If you want money, you can give him money. If you want power, you can promote him. If you want fame, you can support him. These are difficult for ordinary people, but for people like Su Yu, it's a piece of cake. "Well, then what do you want?" Pudding asked with a smile. She asked casually as if she was joking. She didn't feel awkward at all. Han Yueyao froze and then said with a smile, "I'll draw them all." "Good luck then." With that, Pudding got up and ran away. She didn't know what the child thought of her. However, she firmly believed that she was harmless to Su Yu. She had no intention of harming him and only wanted to earn some money. Would he really be hated by everyone? After warning Han Yueyao, Su Yu wanted to drink and chat with Wei Liao. But at the door of the private room, Shen Mingxi stopped her and told her to go to the deck. Because it was a shallow sea, the wind on the deck was not very strong, so it was a little cool. "Why do you look so dispirited lately? Are you possessed by a ghost?" Su Yu teased with a glass of pale yellow champagne in his hand. "Lord Su, I want to borrow some money from you." "How much do you need?" Su Yu asked without hesitation. "How much do you have now?" Shen Mingxi asked in a low voice. "I have as much as you need." Su Yu was very generous. Hearing Su Yu's words, Shen Mingxi's eyes flashed visibly. This man looked cheerful and carefree, but he was the most reliable at critical moments. "My company is short of funds and needs cash flow. The situation is very bad, but if I say that I don't know when I'll be able to pay you back, will you still lend me the money?" Shen Mingxi took a sip of the red wine in his glass and said gloomily. Chapter 3667. If I wanted to be so calculative, I wouldn't have given you a chance to speak from the moment you asked me to borrow money. But this time, I need a lot of money. "I don't think your company has that much cash," Shen Mingxi said with difficulty. Shen Mingxi said with difficulty. He never thought that he would be in such a sorry state one day. He'd lived a life of luxury since he was a child. When he grew up, he thought he'd never run out of money. He never thought he'd be in such a difficult situation. He knew that his business partners were laughing at him. He thought about it and didn't know who to ask for help other than Su Yu. After all, borrowing money was a sensitive topic. "It's none of your business. Just tell me how much you need." Su Yu leaned against the railing of the luxurious cruise ship and smiled at the night breeze. His attitude did make Shen Mingxi, who had borrowed the money, feel a lot better. I need about 50 yuan. 5 billion. Yes. I don't have that much cash with me, Siyu said slowly. It's okay. Give me as much as you have. I'll think of a way. No need. It's just 5 billion. I have a way. You're not going to borrow money from me, are you? Shen Mingxi asked. What else can I do? Do I have to get a loan from the bank? Suyu chuckled. I don't think that's a good idea. Wei Liangchuan, I won't ask Wei Liao. I know your relationship is tense. Suyu patted Shen Mingxi's shoulder and told him not to worry. Are you going to ask Tang Chuan? He's so close to Wei Liangchuan. I'm afraid I won't ask Tang Chuan. I only need to ask one person. Who? Shen Mingxi didn't know. Our Dr. Hua is a rich man who keeps a low profile. He's very rich. Dr. Hua doesn't have that much money. You might as well ask her husband, President Qin. No, you don't understand. My Mian is super rich. GK's money and Southside's money are all in her hands. In short, she's secretly rich. Then, is Dr. Hua willing to lend me this much? As long as she's willing to lend it to me, I'm willing to lend it to you. Suyu said. Lord Su, thanks. Suyu quickly raised his hand and interrupted him. Sigh, we've known each other for so many years. There's no need to be so polite, it's too pretentious. I'll find a chance to talk to her later. Anyway, within 3 days, I'll transfer 5 billion into your personal account. I'll personally send the IOU to you later. There's no need for an IOU. You can use it. Let me know if it's not enough. Shen Mingxi was about to say something when he heard Tang Chuan yelling at the top of his lungs, Lord Su, come back. Come back. Let's play cards. Are you fucking calling me? Suyu said as he walked over. Shen Mingxi swallowed the words he was about to say. He was surprised that Suyu was willing to lend him so much money at a time like this. He thought he had lost Suyu's trust a long time ago because of all the things he had done before. If it weren't for the fact that he had no other choice, he would have been too embarrassed to ask. Now, Shen Mingxi was at the lowest point in his life. So, he decided to stay away from Wei Ying. Yes, he had troubled Wei Ying enough and couldn't drag her down anymore. At this thought, he walked into the hall and was surprised to see Wei Ying at the door. But Wei Ying was talking to Yi Xiaoyang. Chapter 36-68. Yi Xiaoyang, tell me the truth. Did you hire someone to get Hui Yanyan to come here? Xiaoying, did you hear something? Yi Xiaoyang was a little flustered when he was asked this question. It doesn't matter if I heard something or not. Anyways, was the Yi guy in the conversation between Sister Mian and Hui Yanyan you? I said it wasn't me. How many times do you want me to say it? Do you dare to swear? Ing, you've known me for a long time. Don't you know my character? I really don't know your character. Yi Xiaoyang, do you dare to swear? Do you dare to say that you have nothing to do with Hui Yanyan? If you lie, your whole family will die. Wei Ying was furious. She wasn't stupid at all. Hua Min wasn't someone who would make things up. He wouldn't implicate the Yi family, which had nothing to do with her. Hua Min dared to say that in public. That meant that she had evidence. Thinking about it carefully, no one would help Hui Yanyan so easily. After all, they had to know their purpose. There weren't many famous families in the city with the surname Yi. The older generation had all retired. She hadn't heard of anyone who had anything to do with Hui Yanyan. Yi Xiaoyang, on the other hand, had been seen with a young woman. She didn't know if that woman was Hui Yanyan. But Yi Xiaoyang had the most motive. After Hui Yanyan came out, she would definitely harm Shen Mingxi. Because of Wei Ying, Yi Xiaoyang had disliked Shen Mingxi for a long time and had made trouble for him in business. Ying, even if I'm not your boyfriend, we're still friends. Why are you asking me to swear? I'm asking you if you dare or not. Yi Xiaoyang was still a little guilty. He didn't dare to say that his whole family would die. What? You're guilty. What's there to be guilty about? Instead of suspecting me, why don't you go and save your brother Mingxi? I heard he's going bankrupt. Yi Xiaoyang did not want to swear, so he changed the topic to Shen Mingxi. Shen Mingxi looked up, stunned for a moment. Then, he walked over and said, I'm sorry, I might not be able to break it because I just borrowed 5 billion from someone. You eavesdropped on other people's conversation. What kind of person are you? Yi Xiaoyang was embarrassed to be exposed, so he flew into a rage out of humiliation. I didn't mean to eavesdrop. I just happened to walk here and saw the two of you talking, so I didn't come over. Wei Ying looked at Shen Mingxi with mixed feelings. She bit her lips but didn't say anything. To be honest, she was also at a loss and at a loss. She didn't know what to do. All right, then I'll leave. I won't disturb you two from catching up. Yi Xiaoyang found an excuse and ran away, afraid that Wei Ying would ask him more questions. The little bitch Hui Yanyan had embarrassed him this time and even let Hua Min guess his identity. Yi Xiaoyang thought it was necessary to teach the little bitch a lesson and let her know who her master was. After Yi Xiaoyang left, Wei Ying glanced at Shen Mingxi with a cold face. Why didn't you tell me that the company is in trouble? It's a man's business. What? Are you looking down on women? Wei Ying was furious. No, I just don't want to drag you down. You've helped me a lot. Ying, I really don't want to drag you down. Look at you. You're so unkempt and unkempt. It's not like you at all. The Shen family's century-old foundation can't fall. This is Grandpa Shen's wish. Shen Mingxi, you'd better buck up. Don't worry. I won't let the Shen family fall. Shen Mingxi forced a smile. Wei Ying's heart twitched as if someone had pricked it. She opened her handbag and took out a black diamond card. Then, she handed it to Shen Mingxi. What is this? He was slightly surprised. Chapter 3669. It's all I have. Shen Mingxi, including the money I made from my own business, the money my parents gave me, and the stores I sold recently, I have 50 million yuan. It's not a lot, but it can solve the problem. Ying, take it back. No. From the moment I gave it to you, I had no intention of taking it back. If you don't want it, throw it away. The password is still your birthday. It's up to you whether you want to use it or not. Then Wei Ying forced the black diamond card into Shen Mingxi's hand. Then she left without looking back. She was so cool that she had no friends. Shen Mingxi was dumbfounded. He hadn't expected Wei Ying to do this. But when he came back to his senses, he was quite happy. At least it proved that Wei Ying still had him in her heart. At least this way made his heart ache. There was a popular saying on the internet, women don't know if they're marrying a man or a dog until they have children. For Shen Mingxi, it could be changed to, men don't know if the woman beside them is a wolf or a sheep until they're in dire straits. Hui Yanyan, whom he used to dote on with all his heart, was now trying to kill him. And Wei Ying, who he had hurt all over, was now taking out all her savings. Shen Mingxi felt that he didn't deserve her. The better Wei Ying became, the more he felt that he didn't deserve her. Holding the black card, Shen Mingxi felt complicated. Min, the birthday girl, should be the busiest tonight since she was the main character. However, at this very moment, she took a break and ran to a corner. She was eating cream puffs while watching the latest Korean drama on her phone. She didn't look like the main character at all. Sister Mian. Hearing the voice, Min looked up. Then she smiled gently. Brat, I haven't seen you in a long time. Jia said you went back to Korea to see an old friend. Yeah. I just came back after living there for a while. Good. You're retired and not a big star anymore, but you're still so handsome. Looking at Ni Young, Min gradually doted on him, feeling the same as when she looked at Jishin. Come on, little Jia said that I'm like a lazy uncle now. Have you considered making a comeback? No. You're used to being idle, aren't you? Yes, I hate the days when I'm surrounded by fans even when I go to the toilet. It's really good to return to being an ordinary person. I really like this kind of life. I'm glad you like it. Sister Mian, I have something to discuss with you. What is it? I want to find someone to deal with Hui Yanyan. Ah. If these words had come from Su Yu and the others, Min might not have thought much of it. However, the words that came out of Ni Yang's mouth confused Min. Why are you talking about this out of nowhere? That woman, her heart is twisted and perverted. She probably has someone behind her, so she won't let you go. She always comes out to disgust you. I can't stand it anymore. I don't want you to be bullied by her. She's just a small character. She can't bully me. Then I'll get rid of her for you. Silly boy, don't do stupid things. Murder is against the law. We don't have to break the law for a psychopath. Seeing that Ni Young didn't seem to be joking, Min immediately tried to persuade him. No, I won't kill her. But I have a way to make her disappear forever, Ni Young said calmly. Chapter 3670. You're not going to kidnap her, are you? Lock her up. Imprison her. Don't worry about it. Anyway, I can't let her slander you like this. Brat, what are you thinking? If I want to deal with her, I have 10,000 ways. The reason why I haven't done anything is because she doesn't pose a threat. She seems to have seen through this, so all she can do is talk. She can't do anything to me. If we really want to deal with her, it's not our business. Shen Mingxi should be more anxious than us. But, sis, don't worry about me. You'll be fine with Jia. You're such an innocent and bright boy. How can I let you do those dark things? But people like Hui Yanyan deserve it. Ni Yang was a warm man who loved Min very much. He wanted to do something for her. That was why he wanted to help Min get rid of Hui Yanyan. But what he didn't know was that Hui Yanyan was a clown and Min was no longer afraid of her. He even felt that she was pitiful. She was alive now, and it seemed that there was only hatred. There was no happiness in every minute and every second. Yeah. As the saying goes, the bitch will be punished by God. So, let's not worry about her. Min optimistically interrupted Ni Yang's suggestion. Then they talked about something else. Xing Ro was drinking coffee in the lounge upstairs. She put on her earphones and heard every word of their conversation. Min is so wise and magnanimous. She can even ignore Hui Yanyan. No wonder she has the status she has today. If Min agreed with Ni Young, it wouldn't be her style. She wasn't a saint. It wasn't that she didn't want to get rid of Hui Yanyan. However, at such a sensitive time, if someone were to catch him red-handed, Ni Yang's future would be ruined. Sacrificing a good person for a rotten person was not a good deal. Huamin was so smart that he naturally wouldn't agree. At this time, a deep voice came from the earpiece. How are things over there? Reporting to Chief, everything is going well. The installation has been completed and we are monitoring it now. We've received a tip-off that many people are monitoring the cruise ship today. Ian and Nalo are out-and-out lunatics. You have to act according to the situation and be careful. Yes, Chief. After replying, Xingro continued to drink coffee and eavesdrop on Huamin. Fortunately, Huamin was doing fine so far. There wasn't any confidential conversation. She actually wanted to hear what Huamin and Suyu were talking about. Would they talk about Suyu's new female companion or talk about her? Unfortunately, Huamin and Suyu never talked in private, so she never had the chance to eavesdrop. When the program was about to start, a person's appearance brought the audience to a climax. Wow! Look! Who's that? Yeah. My goodness. Why is she back? We didn't receive any news from the media. It's so sudden. She's much prettier. I wonder if she got plastic surgery. Even her temperament is better. She's different after studying abroad. Yeah. We didn't receive any news that she would come to Dr. Hua's birthday party. While they talked, they saw a woman on the other side of the spotlight. She was wearing a black velvet gown and had an exquisite face. It was Niao Lingxian, whom they hadn't seen for a long time. Chapter 3671. Huamin didn't expect Niao Lingxian to come. But when he saw the invitation in her hand, he immediately understood. Cici had asked her for it a few days ago. She had joked, "Cici, are you coming back to celebrate my birthday with me?" Cici had smiled mysteriously and said, "You'll know when the time comes." It turned out that Cici had asked for the invitation for her sister. Niao Lingxian and Huamin weren't close. She came to the birthday party for only one purpose: to see Suyu. At this thought, Huamin looked in Suyu's direction. Sure enough, he was also shocked. As Niao Lingxian's boss, he didn't know that this star had suddenly returned. Nor did he expect her to appear on the cruise ship. "Miss Nia, why did you suddenly come back? Miss Nia, why did you come back this time? Miss Nia, is there a new movie coming out? I heard that you're working with Hollywood. Is it true? Miss Nia, did you suddenly appear here to surprise Dr. Hua? There have been rumors that you and your sister have a good relationship with President Qin and his wife. Is it true?" As soon as Niao Lingxian entered, she was surrounded by some well-known reporters. This was indeed a big story. "I'm sorry. This time, I'm attending a friend's birthday party as a private guest, so I won't accept any interviews." "Thank you," she explained elegantly with a calm smile. In a trance, Siyu felt that she had become a little different from before. There seemed to be something more in her eyes. In the past, she was timid and shy. She was even shy and gentle all the time. Now, she was calm, graceful, and very good at handling situations. She even had the demeanor of a big star. But, this time, she came back, Siyu was thinking when he was interrupted by Tang Chuan. "Ha ha ha. Young Master Su, you're doomed. Xing Rou, Han Yueyao, and now Niao Lingxian. The three women make a show. I wonder if they'll fight for you. It's going to be so interesting. Su Yu, I suggest that Lord Su try them one by one and see which one has better skills." It was rare for Wei Liao to make a dirty joke. "Ha ha ha, Mr. Wei is right. I suggest you do the same. You too, are you just watching?" Su Yu was exasperated. "Why are you standing there? She's from your company after all. Don't you want to go and see her?" Tang Chuan pushed Su Yu's shoulder. Su Yu was a little at a loss. In fact, he didn't want anything to do with Niao Lingxian. It's not good for a woman tss too stubborn, ts Lingxian sts is, as from a psychological perspective, this was tss was similar to Qin Chu's obsession with Huamin, and Hua Xiqian's obsession with Huamin. Qin Chu's obsession with Niao Lingxian was because they loved each other. There was nothing wrong with that. Hua Xiqian's obsession was unrequited love. Niao Lingxuan's was similar to Hua Xiqian. She seemed to have made up her mind about Su Yu to a certain extent. Su Yu felt that if this continued, the situation wouldn't be very good. He had clearly rejected her many times, but Niao Lingxian didn't seem to have any intention of giving up. Su Yu sat there, wondering if he should get up and greet her. Niao Lingxian walked all the way to Su Yu under the crowd's gaze. President Su, long time no see. I miss you very much. Her straightforward words made Su Yu blush, and the crowd was in an uproar. Huamin walked over and held Qin Chu's arm, frowning slightly. Honey, why do I feel like there's something wrong with Niao Lingxian? Chapter 3672. Yeah, it's weird. Qin Chu nodded slightly. Even you think so? Huamin was surprised. He thought it was just his imagination, but now that Mr. Qin had the same feeling, things didn't look good. Yeah. Niao Lingxian wasn't close to Huamin, and Huamin was only close to Cici. But Cici had been living abroad with Rick for years and was pregnant. So, they could only contact each other through WeChat and phone calls. Huamin thought for a moment and sent Cici a WeChat message. Cici, yes, Sister Mian. You gave the invitation to your sister? Yeah, I'm sorry, Sister Mian. I didn't mean to hide it from you. My sister said she wanted to go back, but she didn't have a good reason. I thought it was your birthday, so You know, she's always liked President Su. Yeah, I know. I don't blame you. I just wanted to confirm it with you. Confirm what? Cici didn't seem to understand Huamin's intention. Confirm that the person who came back is really your sister. It's my sister. She came to me to get the invitation before she left. Did you see her? Yeah, she just arrived. My sister is timid and won't cause trouble. Don't worry, Sister Mian. That's not what I'm worried about. Then is there something else? Cici felt like Huamin's sudden WeChat message wasn't just for a chat. Nothing. You should rest. Huamin didn't say what he was thinking. It wasn't that he didn't trust Cici, but he didn't want to misunderstand. That would be awkward. Yeah, it's Niao Lingxian. At least. Cici said her sister came back with the invitation. Qin Chu nodded and didn't say more. Su Yu didn't know how to react to Niao Lingxuan's sudden enthusiasm. Yeah, long time no see. Su Yu stood up and reached out his hand, thinking Niao Lingxian wanted to shake hands with him. However, Niao Lingxian ignored Su Yu's outstretched hand. He didn't give him any face at all. After all, no matter how famous she was still just an employee of Su Yu, but her actions were. In short, this scene was captured by many media outlets. Su Yu looked embarrassed. Xing Rou sneered on the side. She had heard Huamin's words and confirmed that this person was Niao Lingxian. Su Yu, I didn't expect you to have such a day. Xing Rou suddenly felt happy. At this moment, Han Yuiao appeared out of nowhere. She laughed and held Su Yu's arm. Big brother Su Yu, this must be the superstar that your company made famous, right? She looks pretty good in person, isn't she? Niao Lingxian glanced at Han Yuiao's face coldly. President Su, you've changed women again. You're really fast. You're like a stamp collector. Su didn't expect her to say such sarcastic words so blatantly. He stared at Niao Lingxian carefully and felt she had become a stranger to him. Yeah, it's normal for a man like President Su to change women. It's not strange that some media outlets like to gossip. Before President Su was in a relationship, they said he was pitiful. Now that he's in a relationship, they said he changed women faster than he changed clothes. Bitches like to have double standards. Miss Nia, don't you think so? Han Yueyao's words were sharp as she argued with Niao Lingxian. At this moment, Su was grateful to Han Yueyao. As a newcomer, she had no background, no power, and no fame. But she was fearless and immediately came to his rescue when she saw him in an awkward situation. Based on this, Su felt this girl had a good character. At least, she wasn't as bad as he thought. Wow, you're so eloquent. It seems President Su has liked this type of woman all these years. You've liked Dr. Hua's type, right? Chapter 3673. Niao Lingshuan's words were getting more and more presumptuous. She had said that she was angry with Su Yu, so it wasn't a big deal to mock him. But this time, in front of so many people, she didn't know the gravity of the situation. She even dragged Huamin, who was pregnant with his second child, into the water. This was a little too weird. Superstar Nia, are you saying that your love turned into hatred? Han Yueyao chuckled. Niao Lingxian didn't speak, she just stared at her face. I heard that you pursued your boss for a long time, but he rejected you many times. Later, you felt embarrassed and fled to study abroad. President Su didn't chase you down because you've done a lot for the company in the past few years. Not only did he sponsor your tuition and living expenses, but he also told the media that Imperial Star's doors will always be open for you. I thought, if it were someone else, even if they weren't grateful to receive such treatment, they would still be kind to their boss. What you're doing now is cutting off your path. People say that you repay evil with good. Are you repaying kindness with kindness? Han Yueyao was usually rude, greedy, and liked to play tricks. Su Yu had never thought that she would say such words one day. Huamin also looked at this little girl in a new light. Standing beside Qin Chu, she didn't intend to participate in this battle. Niao Lingxian had been picking on Su Yu, trying to embarrass him and put him on the spot. As the boss and a man, Su Yu naturally couldn't lower himself to the level of a woman. So, he was at a disadvantage. But Han Yueyao didn't care about that. She was a newcomer and didn't know anyone. So, she wasn't afraid of anything and went all out. First, she attacked Xing Rou, now, she attacked Niao Lingxian. She was extremely fierce. Lady Su already had a deep grudge against Han Yueyao's words. She felt that Han Yueyao used her and lied to her. But at this moment, she was so protective of Su Yu. Lady Su felt that she was right about Han Yueyao. This girl had a sense of justice in her bones. At least, she was willing to sacrifice her own image to protect Su Yu. Of course not, I was just joking with President Su. Why are you so agitated? President Su, we've known each other for so many years. Don't tell me you don't know me. Niao Lingxian smiled and looked at Su Yu. Of course not. It's just a joke. I won't take it seriously. Hearing his words, Han Yueyao smiled. Superstar Nia, don't blame me. I've always had a strong point, and that's being protective, so I really didn't know you were joking, so please don't be mad at me for offending you. I really can't stand my boyfriend being bullied. Han Yueyao's change in attitude was astounding. Niao Lingxian was good at acting, but she was even better at it. Therefore, when she heard Niao Lingxian say it was a joke, she immediately blushed and acted like a spoiled child to sue you. What a bunch of dog food. Exasperated, Xing slammed her coffee on the table. If it weren't for Han Yueyao, she would have torn Niao Lingxian apart. It was Han Yueyao's sudden appearance that disrupted her plan. She hated this woman more than she did at this moment. She didn't hate Huamin as much as she did before. Of course I don't mind. Congratulations on finding such a considerate girlfriend, President Su. Niao Lingxian picked up a glass of champagne and raised it. Thank you. Su Yu didn't say much from beginning to end, but he knew Niao Lingxian had passed the first hurdle. After the disturbance, the onlookers dispersed. Huamin stood up and walked toward Niao Lingxian. Miss Nia, Huamin greeted her. Hello. Niao Lingxian smiled awkwardly. Chapter 3674. Why didn't you tell me you were coming back? I could have sent someone to pick you up. No, it's too troublesome. Why did Cece come back with you? She's pregnant now, so it's inconvenient for her. Miss Nia seems to have lost a lot of weight, and her face is more delicate and stylish. Huamin rarely praised a woman's beauty. So when he praised her, Niao Lingxian was stunned for a moment. Then in the next second, Huamin did something even more embarrassing. He reached out and touched Niao Lingxuan's face. Then he smiled and said to the media, "You guys. Don't write nonsense about her in the future. Miss Nia has always looked like this. She's just slimmed down. If she really had plastic surgery, her face and nose would change like plasticine, stiffen, and melt. I'm a doctor, so I have the most authoritative appraisal. So this year, I'm going to clear my friend's name. She really didn't have plastic surgery. She was born this beautiful." With that, Huamin retracted his hand without a trace. Her hand was covered in foundation. But that wasn't important. What was important was that she confirmed the answer in her heart. Miss Nia, don't be afraid. I've cleared your name. Huamin looked at Niao Lingxian with a smile. Thank you, Dr. Hua. Niao Lingxuan's eyes were slightly hostile. She was unhappy that Huamin touched her face like this. However, Huamin said that he did it out of kindness, so she couldn't get angry. By the way, Cece told me a while ago that she wanted you to bring back the thing for me. Did you bring it? What is it? Ha! Didn't Cece tell you? You don't know. Huamin pretended to be surprised. Ah, that. Yes, she told me, but I came out in a hurry and forgot. Next time, I'll bring it back for you next time. Then don't trouble yourself. I'll ask Cece to mail it to me. Okay. Miss Nia, please have a good rest and eat something. The show will start soon. Okay. Happy birthday, Dr. Hua. Thank you. Huamin maintained a smile the entire time, until she returned to Qin Chu's side. Honey, you're too reckless. If you want to prove whether she's real or not, you don't have to touch her face. Ha, I was just anxious. Look at your hands. How thick is the powder? Let's go. I'll take you to wash your hands. Qin Chu held Huamin's hand as if he was scolding a child and walked into their lounge. It was very private and convenient to talk there. Qin Chu helped Huamin wash her hands with hand soap several times. Only when the smell of foundation was gone did he feel relieved. It's a pity that you're not a doctor. You're even more obsessed with cleanliness than I am. Stop being so cheeky. Tell me, what did you find? Qin Chu knew Huamin had a purpose for making such a scene. She didn't disguise herself. There's no mask on her face. Yan used to wear that kind of mask. I've seen it. There's a small gap behind her ears, but she didn't. It's also possible that she had plastic surgery. Not really. I touched her forehead and it didn't move. Then she's Nia Lingxian, right? Qin Chu asked. Hua Min shook her head. It's hard to say. Honey, I don't understand. You said she didn't have plastic surgery or disguise herself. Who else could she be? Qin Chu was a smart man, but he was confused. Chapter 3675. There's something strange. I made up a story and told her that Cici told her. If she's really Nia Lingxian, then she should know that I didn't ask Cici to bring her anything. But she's obviously trying to cover it up, which makes me more suspicious. Hearing this, Qin Chu was completely confused. Nia Lingxian was back, but the person who came back wasn't Nia Lingxian. It didn't make sense. Do you want me to check her fingerprints? Qin Chu asked Gao Ran when Gao Ran arrived. Forget it. I don't think we'll find anything even if we check her fingerprints. This body is Nia Lingxuan's. Hua Min had touched and looked at Nia Lingxuan's face, but she didn't find anything wrong. She didn't believe that two people who weren't related by blood could look exactly the same in this world. Maybe she lost her memory or something. How can she target Suyu if she lost her memory? In fact, I don't care about her. I'm just afraid there's a conspiracy. Nia Lingxian is Cici's sister. If there's something wrong with her, not only Rick and Cici but also Suyu will be in trouble. Then we have to be even more careful. Honey, I'm starting to regret it. If I had refused Tang Chuan and Ningning's kindness, all of this wouldn't have happened. Now, I feel like there are a lot of people on this ship with bad intentions. Don't be afraid. I'm here. Qin Chu knew what Hua Min was worried about. Seeing her anxiety, he pulled her into his arms. They didn't talk about Nia Lingxuan's identity. But Xing Ro heard them clearly. Right now, she only wished for the world to be in chaos, because only then would she have the opportunity to find more favorable evidence. At this thought, Xing Ro walked toward Nia Lingxian. Miss Nia, we meet again. Nia Lingxian looked back at Xing Ro with a strange look in her eyes. Don't you remember me? Xing Ro. Suyu's ex, Xing Ro introduced herself. What does it have to do with me? We're both abandoned by Suyu. Do you want to form an Avengers alliance? I saw you were scolded by Suyu's new girlfriend. Coincidentally, I was scolded by that woman too. The enemy's enemy is unpolished jade, right? What do you want to say? Nia Lingxian didn't seem to trust Xing Ro and didn't know why she came to her. How about this? To show my loyalty, I'll give you a piece of important news. You can trust me. What is it? Do you know why Hua Mian's face? Nia Lingxian didn't say anything and just stared at Xing Ro, because he suspected you. Then the conversation between Hua Mian had a conversation with Hua Tss. After hearing this, her expression was obviously not right. How did you know about our private conversation? You don't need to know. But I didn't lie to you. You can tell if I'm telling the truth or not. But I can tell you clearly that I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're real or have amnesia. As long as you're willing to work with me to deal with Suyu's new girlfriend, who do you think you are? You want me to work with you? Nia Lingxian sneered. Chapter 3676. Xing Ro was surprised that Nia Lingxian didn't appreciate her kindness in telling her the secret. You really don't know what's good for you. Nia Lingxian glared at Xing Ro and didn't say another word. Rebuffed, Xing Ro had no choice but to turn around and leave. She didn't want to be embarrassed here. On the other side, Siyu took Han Yueyao back to the place where he was playing cards with Tang Chuan and Wei Liao. Ha! Lord Su's new lover is very busy and energetic. Niao Lingxian must be dumbfounded by the explosion. Tang Chuan chuckled. Niao Lingxuan's personality has changed drastically, Wei Liao said. Old Wei, you noticed it too. What do you mean I noticed it too? Even if I think with my toes, she wasn't like this before. Did she split after being stimulated by you? Damn it. How can there be so many split personalities? Do you think they're all Huasichin? Suyu chuckled, although he found it strange. But he could understand why Niao Lingxian was angry with him. After all, she was a girl who had done so much for him but received no response. Suyu, you have to reward your little girlfriend. If she hadn't protected you just now, you would have been torn into pieces by Niao Lingxian. Tang Chuan reminded him with a smile. Suyu suddenly took out his wallet from his bag. Then he opened it and took out a stack of cash. There were about 5,000 yuan. Here, take this as a reward for your performance just now. Suyu thought Han Yueyao should be happy. After all, she loved money so much. But Han Yueyao was slightly surprised when she saw the money. She didn't expect Suyu to use money to send her away. At this moment, it was as if a bottle of mixed feelings had been knocked over in her heart. She couldn't describe them. She needed money and wanted to earn more money, but she wasn't a money-minded person who only cared about money. She wasn't someone who would do anything for money. Just now, he had stepped forward to help Suyu out of his predicament, and it was not for money. Therefore, when Suyu thanked her with bright cash, she was stunned. What's with that expression? You think it's too little? I didn't bring much today. Take it first and I'll give you more later. Biting her lips, she took the money slowly. Then, he squeezed out an unnatural smile. Thank you for the tip, President Su. Then, he turned around and ran. Hey, Lord Su, what are you doing? That's not very good, is it? Tang Chuan couldn't stand it anymore. Who would treat their girlfriend like this? It's okay. Han Yueyao loves money. She's probably laughing somewhere. She often extorts money from me. Look at her clothes and bags. They cost more than 200,000 yuan. I bought them all. Suyu didn't really know her, so he didn't know what she was really like. Therefore, in order to thank her for helping him out just now, he simply gave her money. Unexpectedly, the money hurt Han Yueyao's self-esteem. After showing off for a while, Niao Lingxian lied that she wasn't feeling well and asked the staff for a room to rest. After entering the room, she took out an instrument and checked that there were no bugs. Relieved, she turned around and sat on the sofa. Then, she took out her phone and dialed a number. Hello, boss. I've successfully boarded the ship. Yes, I saw target number 1, Huamin, but he seems to be suspicious of my identity. Niao Lingxian picked up her phone and reported in fluent American English. Chapter 3677. Qin Chu and Huamin didn't know that there were many people with unknown identities and motives on the ship. Obviously, most of them were here for Lu Yen. Suyu played cards for a while and then got off the ship to the entrance. And was still waiting at the railing at the entrance. It was windy at night, and he was only wearing a black t-shirt, which looked very thin. Are you still going to wait? President Su. And looked back and saw Suyu, and he immediately perked up. The show is about to start. Go in and watch the show. Whether Lu Yen comes or not has nothing to do with whether you wait here or not. Suyu thought and was a bit stupid. Lu Yen wouldn't come just because he was waiting here. On the other hand, if Lu Yen wanted to come, even God couldn't stop her. It didn't matter where N was. In other words, a small shrimp like and couldn't affect a queen like Lu Yen. And looked down at his watch. You go in first. I'm going to wait. At this moment, An's stomach rumbled, and he lowered his head in embarrassment. Why are you waiting? Come in and eat something with me. Suyu pulled in, or more accurately, dragged him all the way to the cruise ship. He dragged An into the hall and pointed at the dazzling array of food. Hurry up and eat. If you want to wait, wait until you're full. I don't care about your nonsense. Ha. Okay. Don't worry, boss. I'll eat now. Seeing that his boss was so concerned about him, and knew what was good for him. Thus, he decided to eat something in the main hall. At this moment, An bumped into Little Bean, who had come to look for food. Little Bean was famous for being a foodie. In Zhu Lingling's words, although Buiyuan wasn't thin, he wasn't overweight either. Ever since Gao Buiyuan started hanging out with Little Bean, his weight had skyrocketed. Little Bean loved sweets, junk food, chocolate, potato chips, Häagen-Dazs, and so on. To sum it up, she loved everything that was high in calories. Therefore, on the cruise ship, the four children were clearly separated. Wei Yunchu and Pudding played games for a while, chatted for a while, drank juice for a while, and then went to the plywood to get some fresh air. It was very romantic. On the other hand, Little Bean and Gao Buiyuan's style was like this. Buiyuan. Have you ever eaten strawberry cheese? No, is it delicious? Try it, alright. Buiyuan. Which do you think is better, banana chips or potato chips? I haven't eaten it before. My mom won't buy it for me. Come, I have everything here. Give me a good review after you eat. Alright. At this moment, Little Bean was bored and came to the hall to order some fruit salad. She didn't expect to run into an uncle and good girl, Little Bean. You seem to have gained weight recently. Uncle An, if you keep talking like this, you won't have any friends. No wonder your girlfriend ran away, and was speechless. Come on, let's hurt each other. Little Bean held the sofa proudly. She had been born for more than 3 years, but she had never been convinced by anyone before. Of course, except for her sister. Okay, I won't tease you anymore. Come here, Uncle An has something to ask you. Go ahead. Little Bean walked over slowly to Anne's side. Because of their good relationship with Suyu, the two children were very familiar with An. Little Bean, I actually want to ask you. And deliberately lowered his voice. You want to ask if my auntie will come today? Little Bean finished his sentence for him. You're tuning into the Dreamy Chapters YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.